Hello, and welcome to the 29th episode of the Purple, Yellow, Red and Blue podcast, a Portugal the Man podcast. On this podcast, I'm joined alongside a guest to talk about what's going on with Portugal the Man. And we have a new release, we have a new album to talk about, Shish, their 10th studio album. You can find this podcast, PYRB podcast, up on YouTube, Spotify and Apple. Thank you to Liam for the podcast artwork. My name is Mark, and my guest joining me today to talk about Shish is...
Hi, my name is Dylan, also known as Dylan Loves Cars or Epic Ultra Gaming on the platform. I've actually been on the podcast a couple times before, but it's nice to be back.
Yeah, it's nice to have you. Thank you for doing this. I've been wanting to do something album related for a little while. It's obviously not been the easiest not having the device to work on, but we're all good now. We're in a position where I can, so we're doing it. Simple as that. How was your... we're recording on a Sunday. It's Sunday morning, kind of midday for me, and it's Sunday night for Dylan, because time zones. How's your day been?
Oh, I mean, it was pretty good. I saw the film Iron Lung, which some people may or may not know, for the second time today. It's a film self-funded by the YouTuber Markiplier. And it was good. Think it'll be divisive, but it was good.
Think it'll be divisive. Wow, controversial. How come? Is it just because of him making it, or?
Oh, that plus it's very much. I feel like if you like the game that it's based on, it'll be good, I think. But I can definitely see how potentially someone who hasn't played the game or isn't a fan of the game might see it as a bit long-winded and boring.
Okay, fair enough. I've not been keeping a track of new releases, to be honest. Recently, the cinema, I'm one of these fictional people that saw Avatar 3 recently, and that was an experience. It's just long. These films are too long now. They're making them longer to make people go, all right, I will go to the cinema and watch it and spend more money there and more time there. But man, you need a pee break halfway through. I tell you, it's a test. But yeah, no, it's been good. I had a nice day as well yesterday, out for football, and then done a little bit of baking today. And now we're here recording. It's just started to rain, so if you hear a little downpour later, I apologise. You should be alright though. You're obviously the other side of the world, where it's really warm at the moment, I'm hearing.
It's been actually a bit rainy over the past couple of days.
A bit rainy.
Which is, I mean, it's been a bit cooler today actually, which has been good for the Australian Open tennis. But there was a 40 a day that peaked at like 45, 46 degrees a few days ago.
That's centigrade, right? So that's like over 100
Yeah, that's
Fahrenheit.
Celsius, which is...
Ooh, that's too much for me, I'm afraid. 44.
So about 114 Fahrenheit, roughly. 114.8.
That's a crazy temperature. I hope you're surviving.
Oh, it's been alright.
Yeah, I suppose you're a little bit more adjusted to it than the rest of me, and
at this point,
I don't know. My nation of it never goes over 35. Really, it did once, and we all panicked. We weren't sure what was going on. Anyway, enough about weather. We could talk about that for much longer, but yeah. Well, actually, I thought I'd ask, how is your 2026 going?
Well, it's been a solid year so far. It hasn't been the most eventful, but it's been good following things that come around each year, like the Australian Open, various concerts. I've already been to one concert this year, which has been good.
Already got one in. Nice. Which one was that one?
The Scottish band Travis.
Oh, that's right. I remember you told us. Gosh, was that this month? Wow, that was it's been a long month.
I think it was the 10th of January, but it feels like much longer.
It does feel much longer. Wow, I remember you telling us about that. Yeah. Oh well, excellent. Yeah, good to get a show in as well. It's nice that they come to your neck of the world. Not everyone does that everywhere.
The first time. Yeah, it's been the first time. They even said it themselves. It's the first time in a long time.
Hey, well, take advantage. Definitely, got to go for it. Yeah, and I don't know how much you wanna talk about it, but you've moved house as well recently. How's that?
Yeah, that
How's
that
that?
was that was pretty full on as well.
Are you sick of cardboard boxes now?
100%.
Yeah, I
Only
I'd
cardboard
expect so.
boxes I want to see are new records.
Oh my goodness. Oh dear. But you're all settled in now. You're all good. You got your Wi-Fi working. We were going to do this
Yeah,
previously, but you were like hot spotting, and I was like, no, I'll let him do. I want him to be like on Wi-Fi at least, and just
yeah,
sorted. I just think it makes for a better experience, and you're not wasting money on data and things like that. If you are or if you're not, but yeah, we're here now. We've done done enough rambling, I think, beforehand, but I think we should talk about we're going to do a little deep dive, Dylan. We're going to focus on their Shish, which is the 10th studio album released by PortugalTheMan, which released worldwide on November 7th, 2025. Now, if you look at the calendar, it's February by the time you're listening to this, so it's a little bit late, but we've had it. We've had to listen to it a few times. We've
yeah. It
marinated
gives it
over it.
time to gives it
Yeah,
some time to
exactly.
kind of see where it fits in.
And I wasn't just gonna skip it, so it's definitely on purpose that we're sat here recording, and we've got things to say about it as well. So I thought we'd begin with the timeline of Shish, because I don't know about you, it's been very interesting. It's been a weird. 2025 was a good year for the band. I'm not sure what 2026 holds, but so far I would say it was a very solid year for them. First of all, what were you expecting? Because we kind of had Ulu Selects Volume 2 around the summertime. I think it was June or July that released, and everyone was like, oh, an EP, very nice. Well, I wasn't expecting that. I was like, this is brilliant, this is more music, this is what we want. I'm enjoying it, I quite like it, I like those tracks. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, and here's an album, like 4 months later.
I mean, I kind of had a feeling there was an album coming because I'd heard rumors here and there from people, and they people that generally do know what they're talking about. But then nothing. I didn't really hear anything of it. And then, of course, with the EP, that was definitely a nice surprise. Like some new-ish music, I say, because it had kind of been teased before. But then they made that Instagram post announcing the new tour, which had that, well, new music, new music that no one had heard, and that was very exciting. Didn't even know who it was, the music was at the time.
Yeah, new music, and you're like, oh, so even newer than stuff that's already released. It caught me off guard. I have to be honest, it caught me off guard. I was a little bit surprised because we've gone through the timeline between. We'll go back to Evil Friends, so that was 2013. Around 2015 was the supposed Doomin' and Gloomin', which kind of got shelved a little bit. Some stuff extracted and we've received it elsewhere, but with that, we had Doomin' and Gloomin' potentially in 2015. It never released. And then Woodstock in 2017. So a 4 year gap. And it's like, okay.
Which is what their biggest gap at that point.
At that point, it was their
Well,
biggest gap, yeah. Obviously, the rise and success of Feel It Still, which no one really saw coming to the levels that it occurred to. And that kind of propelled them to a point where they would, in 2018, I think they toured something like 290 times in 365 days, or however many, or some. It was around that number, and which is an extremely high amount. It's 5 days a week essentially, all year long. So they had that success with Feel It Still, and they kind of just rode it a little bit because why wouldn't you? They then started working with other groups on features and projects and little things. There were lots of little singles and little tracks and features that came out between 2018, 19, 2020. Then obviously COVID happened, and that kind of changed the script. John, as reported by himself and many other places, had issues with his jaw, So that obviously took a little step back. He needed some time. Obviously, situation with Francis was made aware a little bit later down the line, but it was obviously going on in the background, so clearly taking up some energy. And it was like, okay, so we're up to 3 years post Woodstock with a couple of singles and stuff. This is fine, like nothing incredible. And like, okay, so we've just done a 4-year wait, and now we're on a 3-year wait. And then 2021 rolls around. COVID is still a thing. 22 rolls around. It's going away. It's pretty much gone away mostly. Most people are vaccinated or, safely contained or whatever. And then 2023 rolls around and Chris Black Changed My Life releases. Now, that is, what is that, six years between releases? So we've just done a 4-year gap and now we've done a 6-year gap. And in my head, I'm like, ugh, that's a long time. And you're kind of aching for it. How was the gap between Woodstock and Chris Black for you, Dylan? Because
I remember.
I was gonna say, because you probably found PTM around the Feel It Still era time.
Yeah, I did. So this was my first time, I guess, like anticipating a new album, and it was so like, which happened to then be their largest gap. But then I do remember in 2022 when they released What Me Worry. I think it was. Can't remember what point of 20. I think it was 2022.
Yeah,
and that
it
was
was in the summer.
that gave hope for. Yeah, it gave hope for potential music, and so there were things here and there on the Reddit suggesting that might be a new album coming, but of course, didn't for a while. But and then when they first started rolling out things relating to Chris Black, it was pretty exciting, I have to say. Like, and I know the sound of Chris Black, like, is a bit divisive of the album because it's more similar to Woodstock as opposed to some of their earlier stuff, but it's still up there as a very good album for me.
Yeah, I talk about Chris Black. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it at the time, but also I've been waiting for so long. I was happy to receive anything at that point. They could have just played the flute for 10 tracks, and I would have gone, well, this is fine. So, anything just would have been acceptable. But yeah, I really enjoyed Chris Black, and you're right with it does liken itself a lot more to Woodstock than the older stuff, and
Yeah, I'd say it's better than I'd honestly say it's confidently a better album though than Woodstock. It feels like it's got more character and meaning to it. Not to discredit Woodstock, but
no.
of course, given the subject nature of the album, it just feels more personal.
Yeah, definitely much more of a personal touch. Definitely Woodstock feels. I mean, could I name all the tracks off Woodstock right now? Probably not. Probably not. It's been a while. Not without looking at anything. I know obviously John cherishes every album. Well, we think so anyway. Maybe he doesn't, but he does have a soft spot for Woodstock and that time in his life. And yeah, obviously when I had him on a couple of months back, he did say there were 3 tracks that he was like, not too happy about. I think we worked out one of them by this point. I don't know if you. I think it was "Rich Friends" was one of the songs he was like he didn't really wasn't like fully happy with after it was made. I don't know if am I remembering that right? That recently
I
came
feel like
out.
that is correct. And I believe, I mean, there were songs here and there that there were just small things that were, which he wish that were added to the songs, like some more orchestral elements in some of the songs.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think they would have been good as well. But yeah, I feel like my fondness for both of those albums is pretty similar. Like I enjoy tracks of them, but I'm not probably listening all the way through at this point, unless I'm in the mood for a little bit of Chris Black or a little bit of Woodstock. That's just kind of where I'm at the moment. Obviously, we've got Shish, and I do listen to that front to back as well at the moment. So I'm still in that kind of. It's new. I'm enjoying it still for quite a bit. It is wearing a little bit, but again, we'll talk about this more throughout. But in terms of timeline, so we're at like 2022. What Me Worries come out. Dylan's enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I think we're all enjoying it. And then in 2023, Chris Black releases in 2023. Chris Black releases in 2023. It's 6 years. It comes out. Everyone's pretty happy with it. There's a few fans, obviously, and not everyone's going to love everything, but I think overall people were pretty happy with it. Personal favourites from that one would be Grim Generation, Dummy, Plastic Island. Yeah. How did you... looking back... Oh yeah, go on.
Looking back, it's definitely an album that, like, I'd say to me, in terms of the albums I like, has stood the test of time, and that it's an album I still fairly consistently go back to, especially because I have the association of when I saw them live for the first time at Blues Fest. Like, it kind of felt like it was all, albeit Blues Fest was 2024, because it was on the back of that kind of album. It kind of all kind of merged together as this one kind of just period that was it was a very fun, very good period. I mean, I still love, like, there's variety in the sound from more upbeat sounding tracks like Grim Generation to I love like Doubt with its more like slightly melancholic sound with the use of the piano and strings. I think there's more depth than some people give it the album credit. Like,
no, definitely. I think it's a very deep album. I think the Ghost Town to Doubt to Times of Fantasy section is very thoughtful. Something around that. Yeah, it's definitely, there's a message there. There's a feeling there. There's emotion with those tracks. Well, definitely with Doubt and Times of Fantasy, but yeah, that kind of stretch. And that, like, the album starts off kind of joyful and then kind of ends a little bit more, maybe not somber, but it's more in that tone, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense in a way?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Almost like an A-side, B-side, sort of like a couple of tracks of this style and then a couple of tracks of this style, and it kind of all flows through together. And obviously with Chris Black 2023, we got that, it came out, and then obviously there was issues with Francis right before the album came out. It was made aware to the wider fan base, not just like the core, like the hardcore, and even that I wasn't fully aware of the condition of her, what's going on. That was made aware pre-album release, I believe. Obviously, they made some videos.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, they made some videos about it. They obviously put up the GoFundMe, which I always leave a link for in the description, and is always still... I haven't done a live check on like how that's doing in a while, but I think you know, money's still being totted up into it. It's probably not got as far as maybe we'd like to, but it's a respectable amount of money to go towards research and diagnosis for the disease. So I think people have done a good job there.
And they tied it in quite nicely too, with both Francis Changed My Life and Chris Black Changed My Life. It was a very, like, I don't know, important period.
Yeah, I forgot about the Francis Changed My Life kind of motto and campaign they sort of had for a little bit as well. It was Chris Black and then Francis. So yeah, well remembered. That sort of slipped my brain a little bit. So obviously Chris Black releases. It's come out, pretty positive reviews. And obviously they're now touring, they're doing shows. And I'm thinking, another 4 to 6 year wait again, because this kind of feels like what it is now. And they do a couple of singles as well, kind of between 2023 and mid 2025 as well. A couple of features, again, working with different artists. John's keen to link up with new people. And then when we get to 2025, we get an EP in the summer with some, as you say, tracks that we've kind of had rumoured but have never released. Viz, which has gone through multiple name iterations. We've got Silver Spoons, which personally I think is one of their best written tracks. Really like that one. There's Big Baby Bogota, which is a lot of fun. And then there's We Got This as well. So 4 tracks. We Got This, by the way, featuring
Yeah.
Francis. I think for the first time, like
Yeah,
properly.
I remember. Yeah, I remember I got this. I mean, I think Francis does have some vocals on Chris
Hmm.
Black, but I can't, technically I think this might predate that, but I can't remember. But I do remember a year or two ago they posted a clip of it on Instagram with an anime music video.
Oh, okay, nice, well remembered. um, yeah, so that is the timeline. That is the timeline of everything from kind of Evil Friends all the way through to, and I'm sure there's a lot more that happened in between that we just don't know about. Stuff that was worked on, stuff that was sold off to other artists as well, which, you know, has happened. Can't say which songs, but you know they do definitely exist. It would have been interesting to see
Yeah.
the band's take on them. But so we get to Shish releasing November 7th, 2025, not that long ago, and we get a couple of beforehand, maybe a couple of months before, a couple of tracks kind of pre-release early as singles. People get them, yeah, and that's the timeline. Then Shish releases. They do a little tour afterwards, like a little late summer, kind of, well, it'd be autumn at that point, autumn winter tour in North America. At the time of recording, they've just done the Royal Academy, the school show essentially, like where they play at Francis' school. And there's a plan to do. There's obviously the cruise, and then there's the European tour. There's obviously, and I think there's another show in Florida as well. There was 3. We did report on that last time, but since that it's been chalked back to just one show.
Yeah, and there is a chance for some other shows potentially getting rescheduled just with current events.
Yeah, we obviously don't at this time know what's being moved, cancelled, rescheduled. We don't know, but we've been warned, and obviously I'm a little bit frustrated. I have to be, Dylan. I'm just going to come out and say I'm a little bit frustrated that after 7 years of no show in the UK, that it's potentially getting moved back even further. And I'm just going to say I've put money towards the shows, and I'm a little bit annoyed I'm not going to be able to get that back. I'm just going to say that's just my, it's not going to sway my opinion of them or their music, but it does.
Yeah,
It is a small.
You can't change current events, but it makes sense to be sad. Like,
yeah, I want to see them, and it's a little bit like, oh, okay, I've got to wait further down the line. I might not be able to get the time off to see them now. That's another thing, and it's like, okay. So let's hope, let's hope that they do something. They make a post about it or whatever. Maybe they have at this point, but anyway, I thought I'd caveat that in case because it has affected me a little bit. It's frustrated me a little bit. I understand why. There's things going on in the world. There's obviously stuff. There might be more family related stuff. We don't know at this point, but yeah. So there's touring going on, and recently they announced a South American tour as well. I think they're doing like 10 shows or something around South America, North and Central America, which I think is pretty rad. They've always wanted to go back. John's always wanted to go back to Brazil. We always see those comments, Dylan. I don't know about you. Come to Brazil.
yeah, Brazil has a surprisingly strong fan base for the band. It seems.
Yeah, maybe they see the word Portugal and think, oh, they speak the same language. Come to our country. And maybe that's just how they found them. But anyway, do you have any other thoughts about the timeline, where we've come from, where we're going at this current point, where the album was situated? Personally, for me,
I'm just.
Oh yeah, jump in.
Oh, I was just going to say, now that album's kind of been out for a bit, I'm just kind of rolling with it, seeing what happens.
Yeah, definitely, and likewise. I really appreciated the less than 2 years between. Well, it was about 2 years between Chris Black coming out and Ubu Select coming out.
Yeah.
And then
more in line with
6 months.
Older releases.
Yeah, definitely more in line of like something releasing every year, which is
I mean, the album also marks their first like off major label release as well, so that could have something to do with it.
Yeah, that's something we haven't really talked about yet. Obviously, I've not. I don't know how it affects things realistically. They're now an indie artist, I suppose. They've got a new label. They were with Atlantic for a long time, and I think they appreciated that relationship. But sometimes things need to change, and sometimes they just run their contract out and look for something else. But it seems to be no bad blood, which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed and appreciated the timeline between stuff coming out, because when you are waiting 6 years, you do get a little bit like, are they still a band? You start to question it. You start to question a few things like that. And of course they were, but it's like, okay, are they doing more music at some point? Like,
but, yeah, you never know.
You never know, but thankfully they're still here and they're still creating new music, which we appreciate. Speaking about the actual album itself, what are your thoughts on the artwork of the album? The actual vinyl?
I've seen. I love
the design side.
I love the artwork for the album. I mean, from the front cover to the back to even the gatefold as well. There's just so much going on, and it feels so like. I don't know, it feels again very personal, and I love some of the detailing as well. Like on the vinyl release, for example, the front text that says Shish has this kind of like slightly not metallic reflective, but it's got like a reflective finish to it, and I think it contrasts the matte kind of just a standard sleeve quite well.
Yeah, you own the physical vinyl, don't you? So
yeah, I own the Blood on Snow variant, which I think looks quite cool. It's a nice red and white with, albeit quite different from the really like what it was indicated online. It's actually got a bit of a gold shimmer through it as well.
Yeah, I think on my notes here I've got something about a golden red hue on the album. That's what it's referring to, isn't it?
Yeah, like one side to me I'd say looks pretty in line with what you'd expect. With the distinct like blue and the white and red, not blue. And then which for me is the B side, and then my A side is very much almost like the back of those colours with a strong gold like through it.
And what about the actual like packaging and the artwork and the packaging it came in the vinyl? Because it came in. Did you buy it direct from the band, or did you buy it off another company?
I bought the bundle, so I've also got this nice pin, and I've got some cool stickers that I need to decide what to do with. I've got a shirt as well, and a signed insert. I do know it was originally meant to be signed on the record sleeve, but just due to, I assume, production, like there was some delays with production of the record, it seems. So there was a signed insert instead.
Yeah, when did you? Because obviously this came out November 7th. How long have you had the vinyl? It didn't come out day and date, did it?
No, it ended up, especially for the bundle. I know it took longer on Bandcamp, but I've had my copy probably since about early this year, I'd say.
Oh, okay, so just over 2 months, and the busy Christmas
Oh,
period.
actually,
to be fair.
no, I remember actually. It was because I distinctly remember it was the last release I had arrive in 2025, so I probably would have been like either just before or just after Christmas.
So 6 weeks. Okay, that's better. That's better, I suppose. Yeah, I was just curious because I don't know if these things release day and date. Obviously, the special limited editions do. They take a few extra days to come out, or however long, or weeks, or however. They're a little bit more boutique, bespoke, which is fair enough. There is also so you've got the gold, red. There's also the blue album as well, which is a limited edition.
The indie release. Yeah, it's the indie store release.
So, could you tell me a little bit about this? I actually don't know too much about it.
So there's the blue marble, which I think is called Denali blue, and it's I believe it's exclusive to various indie record stores, and it's got a nice kind of blue marble to it, and if you hold it up to the light you can see the marble a bit better. And then there's also a red eco mix, which is like using recycled vinyl, and it's got a similar kind of marble look to it but red and a bit more opaque. And I'm not 100, I think that might just be available at most general stores, but then obviously most recently is actually the Taco Bell limited release they did, which was a box that exclusive to United States that you could be in to win if you entered, and they pressed 500 and it came with a shirt and the record, and I think it came with stickers as well, and it's limited to 500, and it's kind of like a purple marble with hints of like pink.
Yeah, I've just seen the Taco Bell one actually recently. It's popped up on socials and in the Discord and Reddit as well. It's it looks pretty good. 500 is a low limited edition number. Like are you tempted to buy one? I know it's American only, as you said.
I almost did at the time get one off eBay, but I don't know, considering it's something that people got for free, I don't know, like, I don't know if I need it. I'd buy it probably more for the shirt. I like the shirt.
Just buy the shirt, yeah.
Because there are people, unfortunately, kind of scalping it. Same with some independent record stores received signed copies of the blue marble, and then there's a few very overpriced listings for that on eBay.
That's a shame that's happening.
Which you hate to see it happen, but it's bound to happen with anything limited.
Yeah, that is a bit disappointing, but hopefully a few good people got their hands on it for free and enjoyed the Taco Bell show.
Well, I guess, and actually, yeah, albeit none of those are the most recent PortugalTheMan vinyl release, though, because there is not much is known about this to my knowledge, but there is as of earlier January, still late January, there's a lathe cut 7-inch record that's been put around a few independent record stores, and whoever kind of finds it in the store gets to keep it. And on one side it has how it started, which was live at Patricia Razor Centre for Arts in Beaverton, it looks like, and then the other side is Don't Look Back in Anger, their live strip session.
So there's 3 versions of the Shish vinyl plus the 7-inch lathe special edition they've got currently.
Yeah, which seems to be, we don't know how many exist of the lathe cut, but it's feeling like a very, very small number, like probably less than like 50 if I had to guess.
Oh wow. Very limited edition. Yeah, try get your hands on that then, someone, if you're listening. Like if you
if it's in check indie record stores near you. And I'm not actually familiar with how it started. I don't know if that's just because I checked the set list for that show, and it displayed it as as a live debut of that song, and it didn't display it as a cover. So I don't know if it's an unreleased song or if it's a cover, but I haven't heard it.
Maybe it's next year's EP or this year's EP that's coming out. It's part of that. They're teasing it very early.
Could be. We never know.
Watch this space. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about the like artwork of the album and stuff? I remember you said there's a picture of what appears to be France. It's kind of in like the middle centre part of the disc as well.
Yeah, it kind of has an anime style. I mean, there's elements on the back as well that in yellow that have that same, and some text elements that have that same kind of. A lot of the text has that same almost like polished look to it versus the more matte feel of the record. And I mean, there's so much color on and like going on in the gatefold again in that kind of texture. There's obviously the pictures are in the snow, it looks like, but then so much is going on. But it feels so PortugalTheMan. Like the art. Some of the art is amazing.
Yeah, I think a lot of their art, I really do quite enjoy it as well. How does the How does the vinyl fit in with your collection? Does it pop out a little bit, or do you see it from afar?
Art-wise, Art-wise, I'd honestly say it kind of does. Even compared to my other Portugal the Man records, I'd say it's actually got a bit more of a... Because a lot of the time it features... The main album cover is more like of John's art, whereas I'd say Woodstock and this, at least to me, stand out as being a bit more photorealistic as opposed to... Like, I guess even Chris Black does have a bit of the... more photo like kind of thing going on, but it still feels more artsy with the white like paint kind of effect, whereas Shish feels very much more like a photo with the text. But I think it fits the album quite nicely, and it's both a change in like art, which kind of matches the change in sound.
I really like the album art as well, and the everything about it. It looks. I'm pretty in favour with it. I haven't got one personally for myself. You mentioned you've got quite a few vinyls, PTM ones. Which ones have you got?
I have a majority of the albums. The only albums I'm missing are Censored Colors and American Ghetto, so kind of that early kind of ish period. And then I've got a couple of the 7-inch records, like I've got the Got It All 7-inch. My most prized possession is probably the Endangered Song 7-inch.
No, he's got it.
And then I've also got a couple of like the VHS and cassette releases that Chris has done. Oh, and I've got the two like more obtainable Knik records. Like there's the Portugal the Woman one, and then there's also their Live at Royce Hall record.
Oh wow, cool. That's that's a hell of a little collection. Hell of a good collection you got there. Actually, I'm quite jealous. I see. So Censored Colors and American Ghettos left out of the album.
Yeah, they're
American
the two
Ghettos,
I'm missing.
They're going to be tough to get, aren't they? I can imagine they'd
A
probably.
reissue would be nice. I know John mentioned last year they were working on a Satanic Satanist reissue, but and I think Censored Colors as well, but you never, like, I know those things take time.
Yeah, Censored Colors is almost 20 years old, so that'd be a nice. When it's 20, maybe it gets a re-release, and then they can like be happy with everything that's out with it, because
Yeah.
probably not going to do a 30-year re-release for it, because I think most people, I don't know, maybe they've moved on, but yeah. And hopefully you get your hands on American Ghetto.
Hopefully.
That's really tricky. So yeah, next up, or another thing we should talk about really is probably the most talked about thing pre-album, or it's kind of been jotted around an awful lot. We still see comments about it, and then I asked John personally, because I've been seeing a lot of comments about, where is this band member? Where is band member X? Where is this person? And it's just to a point where it was getting a little bit like, okay, they need to do a little statement or something, because apparently me asking John is not good enough for people, and understandably not everyone's going to listen to me yabber on. So, but there are some changes. I've our good friend of the show, Chris, who we mentioned previously, in charge of the tapes, good friend, has put up a little post on the Reddit just going through the band member lineups, and me and Dylan are looking at him right now. By the way, there's a lot of people on this. Current band members for the current tour at the moment are, we've got Liv Singland, who's on guitar. We've got Danny Bell, the Worm, on bass. Bonnie McIntosh on keys. David Marion, who's the Pittman Ralliers vocals, if you're familiar with him. Kane Rashot, who's returning. Someone's come back. And who's on drums. He's also produced Shish as well. Coco Noel, backing vocals and all-round badass, he puts here. Ryan Wiggins is on trumpet, drum and tech stuff. And then John and Zoe locking down the front. So, in terms of current band, that's a big group, isn't it, Dylan? That's a lot of people.
Oh, for sure. It's a solid lineup of people.
How much, because you went to see them at Blues Fest, what was that, 24? 24? I can't remember now.
2024.
Yeah. So
March 2024.
How much of that lineup there was playing a year, almost 2 years ago for you?
I mean, pretty much. I think. Having a look at it, I think honestly just John and Zoe for them, at least, because I wasn't super familiar. I know there were some touring musicians at the time, but that during that period there was still Eric and Kyle, and they actually had Red Ray to do some of the additional vocals on songs like Champ.
Yes, we mentioned as you mentioned Red Ray and a couple of other members there. There's also another list.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we have Kyle, who's now scoring films and living life, which, I mean, that's pretty cool. From what I've seen, he's a very talented musician in his own right, so I think that's pretty awesome. I mean, Eric is making music and living life. I mean, we saw was it towards the end of last year, Eric released his album.
Yeah, he made a little solo project, didn't he? He was working on
Sky King.
That's
that's been cool to see, and I saw there was a show regarding that, like a live show that was pretty cool. Zach is fishing and living life. Zach's been primarily up to fly fishing. I did see he attended a charity event, I believe, for like a bass related like charity event as the bassist, like as a yeah, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, he's primarily been doing fly fishing, and it looks like he's having a good time.
Yeah, it looks like Zach's. I mean, I follow him on Instagram. He's always got people on the boat. He's almost like he.
Yeah, and he's been on he's been on a few fishing related podcasts from the looks of it too.
Portugal.
So I need to give those a listen at some point.
I'll have to pivot to get him on. I'll have to be on the boat with him.
I'll give him. I can ask him. I doubt it. I doubt I've got much staying power, but it's always worth.
I'm not asking you right now. Don't worry. That wasn't.
Yeah, of course. No, I know.
Yeah, no, it's good to see. Obviously, he had. I don't know if you go on his Instagram as well. There's a picture of his arse or his bum. He obviously got very sore for falling down the stairs one time, didn't it? Is that right? Is that what happened?
I can't remember what caused it, but it's pretty rough.
It was very rough, if I remember it. I'm not going to show it on screen because obviously I'll get demonetized. But anyway, it's very painful. But yeah, no, it's good to see Zach. Obviously, you see him do the occasional show. I think he's done a little bit with Eric, like when he's been playing. But I think he is all but retired from music. It sounds like that seems to be the kind of state of it. I don't know if you see it another way. That kind of seems. I think it's more like going very hard.
Touring is pretty heavy on you, so I don't blame him for wanting to kind of step back from that. And he might show up at various events here and there, but for the most part, I'd say it's fair to say, for the foreseeable future, fishing will be the main focus.
Fishing will be the main focus. All right, who else have we got on the list?
We've got Ryan. I mean, he's
Ryan
just
Neighbours?
I believe that's who it's referring to. I mean, he's making music and living life. I have to admit, I'm not as familiar as what he's been up to at the moment, but I mean, it's glad to hear he's still assumingly doing things.
Yeah, I kind of post Evil Friends. I knew he started doing his own thing a little bit, and then I kind of just lost. I don't know. I just didn't pay attention to what he was doing as much. He got replaced, and then I think he was replaced by Kyle, more or less. So, yeah.
It looks like at one point he seemingly was part of a project called Hustlin' Drone, which they haven't released anything new since 2020, but I'm not sure if he's still doing that, but that's at least some indication of what he's been up to.
He might be he'd be not like a part-time musician, but do you know what I mean? Like he would when he's writing stuff over the course of the years and helping out other
Yeah,
people and doing stuff like that. Like there's lots of jobs in the industry. Obviously, I'm not as
yeah.
clued up
I
as
mean,
everyone else, but
yeah, his Instagram seems to suggest that he's doing guitar and vocals for in I assume the music project or band called Help I Fucking Need It, which seems to be focused on noise punk hardcore, and I mean says they're from Portland, and then also electronic music as Hustle and Drone. So it sounds like he's doing a few. I mean, just continuing on with music here and there, like it seems.
yeah, definitely.
Then up next we have Jason, who's doing whatever Jason does in living life. I mean, Jason definitely, I'd say, of the band members, is less in the public eye, and of course, as we learnt from your episode of you interviewing John, he's got a passion for food and cooking, so he could be doing something with that. Who knows?
He owns a restaurant. Did you know this?
I thought he just worked in kitchens. I didn't realize he
I
actually
know.
owned a restaurant.
I'm teasing. It's just that is the common thing. I'm glad that we don't keep seeing the Jason. Jason owns a restaurant. He might do.
I mean,
Maybe one day.
he may do one day. Who knows? Or maybe
I hope
he
to
already does.
I hope to get a reservation. I want to know. But no, obviously he's
Yeah,
very.
that's a restaurant I'd go to.
Yeah, it's just a Taco Bell like remake. He's like, yeah, I like the high cuisine stuff, but this is the shit. No, I like Jason. I've not had really too much or any interaction with him online, but he seems to be one band member that keeps coming back no matter what. He's in out in out. He's kind of like he's always in. He's always up for a good time as well. So I reckon we'll keep seeing him in and then away and then in and away for the rest of Portugal the Man. That's my opinion. Love him when you see him.
And then after, I mean, next we have Nick Reinhardt, who's making music, eating sandwiches, and living life. I mean, kind of like David, who I mean does the vocals on Pittman Ralliers. Nick, I'd say Nick, he's a very respected musician in his own right, of course, having contributed to things like Death Grips and Terra Milos and things like that.
Yeah, he
At
like
least from what I've seen.
from the pre-Shish clips. I don't really remember. They like put out some like little, maybe like a minute-long clips of them in the studio. You'd have like Kane sleeping. You'd have like a couple of the guys working on stuff, and then he'd just be shredding on the guitar. And I was like, wow, this guy.
I mean,
He's gonna take it up a level.
his shredding definitely. I mean, was it him who a lot of the songs are kind of like developed off his shredding, like
Yeah,
and solos?
that's him. Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely like. I mean, he adds a great element. I mean, like both. I'd say honestly, it was a great choice. I'd say for both Nick and David. Like they both add great elements respectively to the album, and I'd say they almost help introduce Portugal the Man to different fan bases as well. Because I know I've seen fans of the more post-hardcore kind of scene talk about the album because of that and Pittman Ralliers, and then also people like who are fans of Death Grips and other projects that Nick has worked on as well talk about the album, so that's been cool to see as well.
Yeah, it's a good way of putting it. Actually, yeah, it's good to spread the word as well. More fans is good stuff.
I mean, and those are the kind of primary members, and then as listed in kind of the post from Chris, Noah, Joe, Aaron, Vince, and everyone else who's ever played with the band are just living life. And I mean, as Chris kind of said, because of the way the band is, no one's permanently out or the band's not over just because some people aren't playing or aren't on tour. I mean, they've kind of. I'd say Portugal the Man has, and the Lords of Portland is kind of. It's more like a family, and it's kind of like. It's a collective that's just constantly evolving and revolving. Like. And I'd say it is. For the most part, it'll be Portugal the Man, no matter who's in the band.
Yeah, and it's just,
I'd say minus maybe John, but
yeah, I do feel like one day if John does step away, it'll lose that. I don't know, that special sauce, if you want to call it that.
And
but like he's been
and
the main
I do
vocal.
kind of. Yeah, I mean, and the evolution of the band and their sound, you could argue, can be influenced by their both obviously John evolving, but then also the change in members adding their own potential insights and things to the album as well.
Yeah, I obviously, as long as they play good music and they keep releasing new stuff, like I'm not clamoring for. Like I don't hear anyone saying like, "Oh, it's not been the same since X and X has been, or so and so has been in."
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't feel like a down. It doesn't feel like a quality is dropped. Obviously, the first few times they all play live together, it's going to take some gelling. You know, let's not be around the bush. It's not going to magically happen overnight, but it will click. It probably has clicked. People are enjoying the show.
I mean, some of the clips I've seen are pretty solid.
Yeah, and they've got good
and
members.
John's
like,
and they've been killing it with their outfits too. Like I've seen some of the past
yes.
Lords of Portland outfits, jackets, and they've been pretty cool. But they've been repping a lot of these like blue Shish like
prison
tracksuit kind of things.
Yeah, like
yeah, these like Knik, and then there's the blue beanie that goes with it as well, and it all looks very cool, like the Denali outfit. And I do have the blue beanie because they sold a few of them to raise money for, I believe, relief funds for Alaska. So that was pretty cool, and it's very nice beanie.
I'm not much of a hat person, but it does look good. To be honest, I do like the look of it. Yeah, and there's multiple colours, isn't there? There's like the gold. Is it the one where it's blue but with gold text, or is that
my one is blue with white text, and it says Denali, which was the one that's kind of unreleased. But then there is also one that I believe is black with yellow text. And then I don't actually know if it was just lighting, but I'm 90% sure I remember seeing one that distinctly looked brown as well, with like yellow text, and I don't know what the deal with that one is.
Huh, odd. That black and yellow.
There's been a few up. Yeah,
that black and yellow one's probably the one I thought was gold. Yeah, because it just pops a bit more because of the contrast. But
it looks very nice.
Yes, it does actually. Yeah, no. But yeah, that's. I think that's all we have to say on the lineup changes. I just think it's noteworthy as well at this point because it's been drastic. We've had that main core from about 2015 to 2020.
That kind of throughout the Woodstock era, and then Zach was the first kind of person from that group to depart, and which was especially notable just because there were questions about it and had been such a key part of the band for so long.
Yeah, he has, and it's kind of. It still feels weird that he's not a part of it because he's been there since pretty much day one, but
yeah,
the band is also now 20 years old. It's like things just don't stay the same in life. That's just how it is. But respect it. I mean, it'd be great to have him back one day, but it's probably not going to happen. But if he does come back, we'll open arms, definitely. So, but yeah, I think that's all we've kind of got to say about the lineup changes. I mean, it sounds like it's clicked, and the new group, they're an interesting bunch. Seem to work well together, and they're learning the songs. There could be backstage drama, I'm sure, but no, I don't think so. It seems like it's all pretty good.
Let the music speak for itself, I'd say.
Let the music speak for itself. Very true. And speaking of which, we should probably now go through the tracks of Shish. So starting off, Dylan, we'll start from the beginning, I think. We can go one by one. I don't want to go in a random order. Just from not from a favoritism point of view, we're just going to go through the track and tell how we feel about it. Obviously, if we like it or dislike it, we'll give that opinion. But we're not ranking them at this point. We'll do that afterwards. We'll kind of give a favourites or dislikes or something. But overall, starting off with track 1, Denali. What do you make of Denali, the intro track to Shish?
I I first heard it in that teaser Instagram post before we fully knew what it was, and I definitely did have to check if it was even Portugal the Man, because it did have such a different sound compared to, especially like some of their earlier stuff, yes, but especially compared to their more recent two albums. So it was, and I have to admit, as someone who likes both the heavier stuff and more poppy stuff, it was, when this track fully released, it was a very welcome surprise. I mean, you've got that, it's a very long, winding, like, dramatic first, like, minute
Intro.
before the
Yeah.
vocals actually start. I think it's over a minute, actually.
Mm.
And then it kind of comes in with these, like, I mean, very classic, like, John vocals. And there's this nice mix between the heavier elements of the song, John's vocals, and some slightly more poppy instrumental elements. I'd say it does a good job of setting the scene for that album. That almost, sometimes it almost sounds like there's two different songs in one song, like with the more poppy side and the heavier side.
That's a really good way of explaining it, especially with the two elements to every song or two styles, because throughout the album we do experience that with other tracks. Yeah, I Denali is fantastic. Like you, we all heard that teaser, that little. It was part of the instrumental intro that they
Yeah,
put out, and like I had to check to see. I'm like, is this them? Because I wasn't sure. It could. I was like, is this a song they like that they just hype it up, or
yeah,
like
because
what is this? This
they
is
often
amazing.
do mention like other bands. I mean, often reference material from other bands they like. Even though, for example, when I saw them live, they did "For Whom the Bell Toll." Like,
Mm.
you never know.
You never know, but it's amazing. I think that intro is fantastic. I love it. If that doesn't get you hyped up a little bit, especially the first time hearing it, I mean, it is like 50
Yeah,
listens in now. I'm like, okay, I just enjoy this. I'm not. It's still very good. The guitar is amazing. Like the little solo bits where it's just guitar, and then kind of throughout the track as well. I just think it's amazing.
such a fun song.
It's such a fun song. Yeah, definitely. It definitely gets you hyped up, and I like your point about it's kind of the. What did you say? It was the a good taster for the rest of the album, or
Like, yeah, it's a very good introduction and sets the scene for the album, both from the title, of course, being Denali, which is the mountain in Alaska, and then also, I mean, with and that kind of, that album is very focused around Alaska, and then but then musically as well, it kind of sets the scene.
yeah, we've not really talked about it yet, but this is a very homegrown Alaskan album. Like some of the tracks we'll just jump to names like Angoon, Knik, Denali, Tyonek,
Shish.
Kokhanockers,
I
Shish,
mean, basically
yeah.
every track on the album essentially
Father
has.
Gun, the little town of Father Gun. But yeah, it's Denali again. It's it's named after. Well, the meaning behind it is it's the highest mountain peak in North America, over 6,000 meters, and it's located in kind of central Alaska. It was the first single as well. So track one was released first. Very very numerical. I should point that out as well. I can't actually remember when that was released. Was it September? It was probably 2.5 months before the actual album came out. So August or September time.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember. September 3rd.
Oh wow! So 2 months pretty much before the album came out. Okay. But yeah, I don't know about you. I love Denali. I think it's a fantastic
Oh,
track. A
it's
really
a
good
great track,
showpiece.
and I like, so, compared to what some other artists have been doing, I like how they started with actually one of the longer. Like, I mean, I'd say by in the grand scheme of things, it's not too long, but it's a bit longer of a track. It's not some like 2.5, 3 minute song. It's a like 4 minute plus song.
Are we hating on number one now? Are we?
I like longer songs,
I
especially
do
I'm
too as
into
well.
like prog rock and all these windy like songs like that. So
I do appreciate the longer one if it's with purpose. Yeah, maybe that's not always the case, but
yeah,
with
for
this
sure.
track, I mean, it's only like four. Was it 4.5 minutes long or something? Denali. It's like it's not.
4 minutes
Yeah,
15 at least on the album.
Okay, 4 minutes 15. I mean, that's fine. That's not short at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Um,
it's not too
yeah,
long either. It's a solid length.
it's a good length to get in. You got the long instrumental, which I think is about a minute plus.
Yeah,
So they could have like broken that up as like its own little like just have like intro. They could have called it or something, which they've definitely.
yeah. I
I think
mean,
they've dabbled
it
to that in the
seems the
past.
vocals come in at about a minute 11 to a minute 12 on the song.
Somewhere around that. Yeah, that sounds right to me. I can't really say too much more about Denali apart from
Yeah, so
yeah, it's an amazing track. It's a really good
very much,
showpiece.
yeah, got me hyped. Like,
Yes, it gets you hyped definitely for the album. Yeah, do you have anything else you want to say about track one, Denali?
ah,
Anything we maybe missed
I
out
don't
on?
think so. I think I've said all I want to say. I mean, it's got, again, it kind of gives you a feel for some of the lyricism actually on the album as well. Like, the vocals kind of have a much more positive, fun sound, but then there's kind of some slightly more serious lyrics. I mean,
That's
like,
it's
some of the lyrics, like, it's calm if you're empathy, but you can never see blinded by your softcore masculinity. Like, I know, there's some, and always was, always will be Denali, of course, referring to how I believe that technically, legally speaking, it's currently called Mount McKinley, but of
yeah,
course, we
that's
all
right.
know it should be Denali.
Yeah, it's yeah. Yeah, Denali. Also, another thing at the time of recording this episode, no music videos, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah,
No,
that's
like
that's been one interesting thing because I'd say as well as the, of course, as I've mentioned, like the album art, music videos are a very big part of the band as well.
they have been. I definitely noticed with Chris Black though that it definitely seemed not less important, but like an additional thing. Like we only got a
Yeah,
handful. Like we obviously got Grim Generation. We obviously got Dummy,
and
which
then
involves Tank Dog,
Doubt had
Plastic
that
Ono.
one. Doubt had the one with like, I mean, there was the piano on fire, if I remember correctly.
That's right. There
Like,
were a few
and
actually
there
on
was,
Chris Black.
but
That's
they
right.
were very thematically similar music videos. Like, they
Anxiety,
often were
Clarity.
focused around like this, the snow, and like it was more focused on visualizers.
Yeah, true. And maybe we'll be receiving music videos at some point. Maybe they're working on them. I don't know. We don't know at this time point. But I would have thought that the first single and the track one would get some sort of little bit of love in that direction. But at the time of recording, it does not. Okay, track two. Pittman Ralliers. Well, well, well. Wow.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
certainly think of the tracks on the album, there's a lot to be said about this one. I mean, even from from both the album standpoint and discography, their discography in general, like, the first time I was listening to the album, I definitely had to check I was still on the right album.
Am I listening to something else now? Yeah. Well, first of all, we already mentioned about it previously when we were talking about the lineups, but David Marion, an unofficial feature, sings on this song. It's more. Would you say he sings more than John on this one? I would say he does. John is involved, but David is the lead singer of this track.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah,
Um,
pretty comfortable. John does feature. They do have a little bit of rhythm. They go back and forth a little bit on occasions. But Pitman Ralliers is a song about nature, is kind of what I got from it. It is, well, it is also the out there track of the album. And for me, I think putting it second is probably the best place for it because
yeah,
you
but
could put it halfway through
I'd,
and then people will be rolling with it and they might just skip it and be like, okay, it's just, because it is very dramatically different to everything else on this album.
yeah,
Maybe not in spirit, but in what we hear, it definitely is. So I think putting it at track 2 out of 10 is a good place. Is a good place for it. I don't know how you feel about
yeah.
putting it at track 2.
I mean, I think I agree. It's a good spot to put it because somewhere towards the end, and it will potentially be too jarring because it's too. It feels like it's going somewhere, so putting it at the end
Mm.
wouldn't really make sense, and then putting it in the middle might be too jarring. And then obviously track one would just make. I know it's like you want to do it for the art, but if it was track
Yeah.
one, a lot of people would have definitely probably clicked off the album.
They would have thought they're definitely listening to a
Yeah,
different group. Yeah. I again, yeah, it's much more punk and metal compared with like the rest of the album.
yeah.
It's
Which I
definitely
mean is
divided.
kind of
Oh, sorry, go
yeah.
on.
I was going to say it's very much. Yeah, it feels. I'm not super familiar with their works, but it does feel more in line with the kind of work that um, David has done. At least from what I've heard, like not audibly, but at least from what I've seen, like more active in like the post-hardcore kind of like communities.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's my. I know he's worked. I think he's worked with John previously or worked with the band previously in some way, but I'm forgetting. But this is his first like official, unofficial kind of work on the band, work with the band, which is pretty cool. I think he's got a terrific voice as well. He's perfect for. I don't want to say screamo, but like it's that. It's more in that element of music, and definitely you probably turn the volume up a little bit for this one as well.
Yeah, I
It's
have to
definitely growing
say,
on. Oh, go on.
yeah. I was gonna say the same thing. When I first listened to it, it was probably, I'd say maybe like first listen around, possibly my least favorite, just because it was so unexpected. Because there are some heavier bands and music I listen to, so now that I kind of knew what to expect, it is quite a fun one. Like
I don't know. I couldn't
very
agree
energetic.
more. It's definitely a fun track, and there's something about it. I wonder. I think about like the style. Like obviously, we're going to go through the rest of the tracks, and they all feel. All right, there's a couple that sound a little similar, but they all kind of have their own theme to them a little bit. And I kind of feel like this is one end of the scale, and I think we know what's going to be the other end of the scale at some point. But like, and you mentioned the word jarring. It is a little bit jarring, but if you're just not into it, but yeah, I'm glad they
Yeah,
tried this. I'm glad they put it on there. I'm glad that it's one song like this, and I'm glad it's track two
yeah.
because it is definitely
Um,
growing on me.
cause look, yeah, I'm looking at the numbers. It is the least streamed track on the album, which I can
Yeah,
kind of get just due to it being shorter in length and quite different musically.
yeah.
But
It's at 2 minutes 46. It's the second shortest track, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. I'll say that it doesn't
yeah,
overstay it. Like
and
if it was
I'd
much
say
longer.
yeah, I'd say the song you could almost argue is closer to like 2 minutes and 10 seconds because I will say there are some elements I very much like in the heavier parts. Like there's this kind of heavy guitar effect that almost oscillates between your ears, almost like reminiscent to me of like a helicopter or something like that. But
Oh,
then from about 2 minutes 10 until the rest of the song, it kind of transitions with this kind of keyboard into this rolling like synthy kind of line which transitions quite nicely into the next song, and again it kind of solidifies there being two very different sounds within one track, but I'm a fan of both of them at this point.
we definitely. I was just thinking back as well when we had those little clips that were being teased before the album. If you listen in the background of one of them, I can't remember which one. I think it was one of the longer ones. You can hear like a toned down version of just David singing as well. So it was teased early. It was teased before the album as well. So we've been fair warned about Pittman Ralliers. Um, it's funny. Also, another thing to mention is that John's Reddit name. I would say Discord name, but everyone like yourself has copied Rallier in some fashion or sense or something with their own name. But Rallier is his like online persona. It might have been his like MSN Messenger name or his something like that at one point. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, again, it kind of go the name of this whether it's related to that or not, the name kind of fits with everything being very personal.
Very Alaskan. Do you have anything else
Yeah.
you want to mention about Pittman Ralliers?
Oh, I mean, I can kind of talk about the ending a bit more and how it transitions into the next song, just because that kind of, it goes on for about 30 seconds, which I think, again, it's a bit unexpected just because it is two very different sounds. Because even if it's kind of a song like Denali, that would have been a bit less expected, whereas just because of how heavy Pittman Rallies is, this kind of rolling, like, synthy, like, very pleasant to listen to, I'd say. Keyboard, like, synth kind of work, and it, albeit some you could argue it's not the most proper transition, but it transitions very well into Angoon. I saw one review of someone saying it didn't really transition, but to me it transitions pretty flawlessly.
Yeah, I think it does. I think it definitely calms down a little bit towards the end of it. It's definitely like it's up here and it brings it down a little bit and then kind of flows into, I think if we're ready to talk about it, track 3, Angoon. When I close my eyes, I talk to collect water, use it for shelter. So yes, track 3, which follows on from Pittman Ralliers. I wouldn't call it a like a natural. I mean, it's pretty close to it following through, but you could listen to both tracks individually, and it's not like weirdly broken up or anything. But
yeah,
it was actually released as a single. So, and here's a little fun fact to kick us off: Hideo Kojima posted about it online as like randomly one day that he was enjoying the song, and I noticed it. And I was like, oh, okay. It was literally like a couple of days after it released as well. So he must have heard it. And was like, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah. And I'm personally a very big fan of Hideo Kojima and his works, both with Metal Gear and then also, of course, now with Death Stranding. So, in fact, I've got some of the Metal Gear games on my mantle kind of right now. So it was pretty shocking to see, honestly, because not often two very distinctly different interests of mine like collide. So that was very cool.
And shout out to my friend Ben who said he enjoyed this one. He doesn't really like a lot of PTM stuff, so I was happy. I was like, oh, okay, this one, fair enough. But yes, the legendary game creator Mastermind seemed to enjoy Angoon. It's at the back of my mind. I don't even know if anyone at the band even saw it, but I'm sure he tagged him in it. But I saw it.
John saw that Kojima, like, John reposted that Kojima.
He did. Okay, that's probably where I
John
saw
both
it then.
commented, and I replied to John's story saying how sick it was, and he liked that.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Especially like he's really reputable, and yeah.
I mean, as a song, like, I'd say it's probably one of my favorites on the album. Like, it's a fantastic track, really good energy. I'd say it's one of the few that has, albeit it slightly rolls out the outro, because it kind of matches the intro. The outro matches the intro that Pittman Ralliers gives to the song. It kind of does one of the tracks that keeps the same sound throughout the whole song. And I mean, it's a very fun song. I'd say the chorus to me very much gives me Nirvana vibes during that guitar riff, and it's just very good.
I enjoy this one. Yeah, it's a very big. It feels like a little bit of a shift as well away after you just had like the hype of Pittman Ralliers and Denali to like calm down a little bit. I want to note that I have to reference the lyrics at about 1.40 into it. No ice, no borders enforcers, no owners, no new world order. I mean, with everything going on at the moment, it was almost. It feels very right.
They haven't been afraid to talk about ICE before, which is, they're very politically active. Like, actually, in Champ, because there is a heavy section between the two kind of like elements of the song, like before Edgar Winter comes in. Well, around like with the saxophone outro, it does say abolish borders, abolish ice, abolish all systems that keep Indigenous people from their natural vibrations. Indigenous people take back what's yours. So, and that was kind of the first time we ice, at least to my knowledge, would directly mention like that. And of course, with everything that's been going on, they've been posting a few different reels on Instagram to Angoon, primarily focused around those lyrics, just because, I mean, it's good to spread the word.
Yeah, no, definitely. And we're not here to like preach or be political, but there's definitely been a line drawn with what they've been doing out there, and it's
Yeah.
But like this has just gone way overboard, and I didn't know about that in Champ. I didn't know that was referencing it. I'm only obviously we both live in countries that aren't massively affected by this at the moment. Obviously, we might have relatives or family or friends who live there, but you know, we haven't got that, so we can't honestly say it affects us directly as anyone in the United States or Canada or Mexico at the moment.
Yes.
'Cause
I
it's
mean, I'd
affecting the
say it
borders
just
as well.
further, yeah, I'd say it further solidifies the way Portugal, the man, and John especially they've never been afraid to say where they stand on things politically.
Yeah, no, I normally don't get too involved with politics just because I'm a little bit too. I just let a lot of things just happen. I don't know. I'm just one of those people. It doesn't interest me. But when really deep shit like this is going on, you're like, okay, like I I get it, and it's if they want to put messages like this in Angoon and it works, then hey, that's fair enough. I'm not gonna
I mean,
I'm not gonna say it's bad. I mean,
I'd say it integrates quite well into the song,
yeah.
and I mean, it's a great song, great guitar work, great like great energy,
I really
and
like
then
the
the way
way. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I like the way the
on
song bounces between like really heavy guitars and more of a subtle guitar slash bass kind
yeah,
of
I mean,
sound. And then
the
for the
first kind of
last,
vocals are very like, just not to cut you off, but they've kind
oh
of
yeah,
got
that's
that
right.
more acoustic guitar, and then vocals, and then it kind of builds with the like keyboard and the next kind of bit, and then it goes full heavy with the chorus and back, and then like back and forth.
Yeah, it does. And the last minute and a half, the song kind of slows down a little bit, like tempo wise. Just peters out, not peters out, but just winds down quite nicely. And I appreciate
And
that.
it kind of and it winds kind of winds out with the same kind of keyboard synth melody that Pittman Ralliers kind of eases out with.
I like this track. Obviously, I'm not going to say where I'm going to rank it right this second, but it's good. It's good. I'm enjoying it. I can't. How long is this one actually? As well, I actually haven't wrote this down.
It's
Professional.
4:37, so again, it's I think partially due to the winding outro, it's a bit of a longer track, but it's nothing boring in that 4 minutes and 37 seconds.
No, definitely not. I mean, sometimes bands are a little bit, you know, end the track, don't have a fade out, but I think sometimes I don't even think I would call it a fade out really. It's very similar to Atomic Man, isn't it? That fade out.
Yeah, because it kind of slows down almost like if you've got a tape machine that is like slower rolling.
That's just kind of it just came to my mind actually. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, similar style to that. Do you have anything else you want to mention about Angoon, or have you Angooned enough?
I think I've said all I need to say. It's a fantastic track, and it's both standalone and in the album, and it's definitely one of my favorites. I know not to rank things too early, but I will say that.
Yeah, I just looked up. Angoon is a city in Alaska, and in 2010 it had 572 people, and it looks like a fishing village or town or something. It looks lovely. There's some
Yeah,
great
it
pine
looks like it's
trees
got
there.
on a kind of peninsula of sorts.
Yeah, it does actually. Oh, population in 2020, 341. Okay,
So
that's
it
like
sounds like it's
right on the
declining.
water. That would make sense. Okay. It's down from Cube Cove. And it's east of Pelican, so mind out for that. A bit of Angoon. Yeah, I think that brings us on to track 4, Knik.
Positive, we don't need more rules, we can bend.
Or how
I
do
mean,
you say it?
I say, I mean, I've had with how much it's been mentioned, both in some of the small release merch that's been done, both vinyl and hats, and like it's a very crucial word with the band, like and with Knik Country. I guess I just kind of say it Knik. I'm not, if anyone feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not 100% certain, but Knik is kind of how I say it.
Yeah, Knik. It's not. It's definitely not Nick. It's definitely not Nick
Yeah,
Broadcasting because that's not right. So it's going to be Knik. But like,
yeah.
it feels like an extra C should be in there somewhere. Like your Knik, your
I mean,
click, or
I mean, both Angoon and Knik are some of the slightly more streamed songs on the album, and I mean, it's Angoon and Knik to me it's two songs that go into each other. Like it's fantastic two song like lineup, like very strong songs, both of them. Like Knik, I mean, again has two very distinct sounds from about like 3 minutes in like to the rest of the song. Both distinct halves of the song, to me, even though they're distinctly different, do work very well together, and it makes one very like good song. And it's actually the longest song on the album, I
I'm
believe.
literally reading off my notes here. I put the longest song of the album at 5 minutes 38 seconds. It does definitely feel like maybe this was two songs merged into one at some point. A bit like with the Denali intro, and a bit like how other tracks obviously kind of have different segments. But at roughly 3 minutes in, we get a big switch up. I maybe call it psychedelic with like lo-fi elements.
I mean, yeah, it starts very like chill, slightly dissonant kind of sounding keyboard work, like very chill.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'd say
and
it does sound quite lo-fi or melancholic, like very chill. And then at 3 minutes in, you kind of comes in with these very distorted guitars and slightly louder vocals, and then it just kind of goes on, and there's just a lot of shredding and solo.
I wonder if the big switch up is anything to do with like actual Alaska. Like at times it's incredibly peaceful, quiet, focused on nature, very down to
I've
earth. And
like
then like
I've
there are some
honestly
like
never
crazy
thought of
parts
it like
about it
that.
as well.
Never. I've never thought about it like that. So that's I mean. So it's definitely seems possible, and I mean this is one of the songs where I feel Nick Reinhardt's like guitar work very much shines through, and like what he's contributed to the track.
The second half is much more like grizzled and gritty, like very much down that line. The heavier guitars. Nick is back in the second half. He's shredding in the second half of that as well. But yeah, maybe I don't know. It feels weird that it was almost like two songs. They put them together. It's a bit
I
longer.
did see that was a critique from some people, but I personally really enjoyed that kind of distinct difference because it builds and then it kind of carries on with the heavy sound, and it's just good energy. I'll
Yeah, I
be
mean,
saying that a lot throughout this because it is a very high energy album to me.
it is. Yeah, it's very. At times, it's thoughtful when it does slow down a little bit. We'll talk about other songs later that do that, and then obviously you get hyped up for songs like Denali and Pittman, and this is kind of like I mentioned lo-fi again. I'll just say it's kind of that vibe, and it's pleasant. It's pleasant to listen to. I know a lot of people are jamming along to it. A lot of people were enjoying it as well. So maybe a little bit of a fan favourite. I'm not too fussed how many people are streaming it though, as long as I'm enjoying it. So, but
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, as long as it's doing well enough where they're happy with it. I haven't really looked too much at the streaming numbers for this album. It still feels it's weird because you've got like Evil Friends songs probably getting across all platforms like 30 million streams or something across YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere else as well. And then it's still like a baby, this song. It's still so new. It's like, give it time.
Yeah.
I don't really have too much more to say about Knik. Knik Broadcasting's Knik. I actually wonder what is this. We're going to look up where this town is as well now, I think.
I swear, if I remember correctly from what John has said, I'm trying to remember if it's Knik or Shish that's more close to where they actually come from. Is it like where John actually comes from versus Wasilla just being the closest major town? I can't remember, but
he did tell me actually.
because it does say, Knik's site, which is like, assuming it refers to Knik's site, which is quite small, it is in about 13 miles southwest of Wasilla.
Something here saying it's a bit of a ghost town as well. There's also Knik Fairview, so maybe it's just like a twin town or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's another place name. It's another place in Alaska. It's another place that meant something to John, and he's given it a shout out with the song title name. So maybe this song is how he felt. I don't know. I wonder. Maybe there's something more to it there. But yeah, do you have anything else you want to talk about Knik apart from
I don't.
booking a hotel? So what else can you do there? Bit of fishing.
I mean, yeah, I don't think I have too much to add. It again, like, it's got good lyricism. Throughout the album, there's good lyricism, in my opinion. But again, good lyrics, good sound.
All right, and that brings us to track 5, Shish.
I don't mind, 'cause there's something in the way. Darkness in my
The title track, Shish. And we have some questions. Who is singing at the beginning? Who is do you know? Is it you, Dylan?
I don't personally. I don't think I could reach that high of a vocal register, but it's another track. Like, same with Pittman Ralliers. At the first time I heard it, I was like, wow, this is quite almost a bit abrasive, but it's just quite bold. Because it starts with the very high vocals and then very loud, distinct bass.
When I heard this one, I questioned the production on this one a little bit at the beginning. I think having sat with it a little bit longer, it makes sense a little bit more. It's one of the let me say that again. One of the strangest PTM songs ever. We hear some.
It's a
Japanese,
definitely one of the strangest starts.
Maybe it's a woman singing. Could be someone. The pitch is really high. They pitch the voice up or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I personally find that a little off-putting. We're so used to John.
Yeah, it's a song I very much. I want to adjust. I want to adjust to listening to it a bit more, but I still haven't quite adjusted to the intro.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. Could be someone on the, something else. Something's changed. I don't know. I find it a little off-putting. I'm not quite sure what they were going for that. Maybe it's another experiment. I don't know. It's that's how I feel about it. At about 1 minute 45, the song flips though, and starts to build up a little bit more. I really like the lyrics at about 2:24, because there's something in the way. Gun that's in my head. Gun that's in my hand.
And
ain't got no future.
I love the background instrumental during that part as well.
Mm.
It's very almost reminds me of those kind of tracks like when people are going to like space or something. It's very like
Yeah, I get that.
building, very rising. I will say, not to go back to dwell on the intro for too long, I
You
do
can.
really, minus the first like 20 seconds of vocals, when it kind of loops the word victory a couple times, I think that's what's being said. And then I like the way they loop that, and then it kind of changes in sound to the main first sound of the song.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's definitely a very abrasive. You've already used that word, but I'm gonna take it. First 20 seconds, and yeah, along with Pittman Ralliers, it's definitely like on my. I have skipped this one. I have to be honest, and I don't see myself coming around fully to it. I don't know, but I really like the middle part of it, and I'm like, okay, there's remix potential with this one. I'm not saying that I'm gonna do it, but yeah. What do you think about Shish, the
I
title
mean,
track?
I don't want to say. I feel like to me that the first 20 seconds slightly decrease the amount of times I listen to it, but it is something like I respect the art and their decision to go with that sound enough where I'm like, I'm willing to almost. I respect the vision. Like, and then because it kind of, after that second distinct change where it's got the more uplifting sound, it kind of continues with that a bit. Like, so I don't want to say it's got three distinct sounds, but the intro to me in that first 18 seconds is very distinctly different to the second. Like, I mean, I guess you can lump the intro into the first distinct sound, but the intro is its, I guess, almost like a subsection.
Yeah,
So I will say it's.
Oh no, go on.
I was just gonna say it's a song I've listened to probably not so much, but it's definitely a song I respect and has elements that I very much enjoy. Like it feels very much fit for the album.
Yeah, I mean it is the title track as well. I don't know. I was trying to remember the place John told me where he's from. It's a town of like 8,000 or something, like 8,800, one of the two. Anyway, very small town. I don't know if it's this. Another part I do like about it is after the electric loser gun in my hand, that bit repeats. The two styles match back around at the end, and then the track flows off through to the end with the electric loser gun in my hand repeating, following, and then there's a brilliant closing instrumental. I really like that bit as well. So like the ending and the middle part, there's good stuff in there. It's just why couldn't have this just been a little bit more like, Knik or the song before, Angoon, like the two songs before. I'm just curious, like I don't know, but it's an artistic thing perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, I even though there's things that aren't perfect, like that I maybe don't enjoy as much, to me they still very much feel part of the song. Like it's almost like if you have a meal but there's one element you don't quite like as much, but you see how it's meant to kind of like come like across in the
Yeah.
overall vision for the final product. Like just because I don't like coriander, for example, doesn't mean it's always bad.
I'm not sure we can continue. No, of course we can. No, that's fine. Yeah, I don't really have too much more to say about this one. We're just going to do a quick. Do you have anything else you want to mention about Shish?
No, I don't think so. I've said. I mean, again, it's one of the. I guess I'll say it's one of the longer tracks, but not the longest. So, I mean, and again, I think that's partially due to the nature of it having the distinct sounds.
So there is a place in Alaska called Shish Marif, with approximately less than 600 people living there. There you go. I don't know if that's got anything to do with Shish. Shish Marif is an interesting album name. I'm not sure you could call it that, but maybe you could have. Maybe we could all be listening to Shish Marif.
From what I remember, I can't remember. I swear I do remember reading that is what it's referring to. But I can't back that up just right now.
That's very fair. Okay. track 6, Mush. Wow. I'm going to show a little bit of bias, Dylan. I'm sorry. Get ready for this. I love it. I love this track. I think this is fantastic. I've wanted something like this for a long time. And yes, there's tracks like Evil Friends that do a similar kind of thing, and it's kind of similar.
Yeah, I'd say
There's
Evil
lightness to
Friends
it,
feels
but-
like a more produced, mainstreamed version of this.
Yeah.
That kind of sound.
This is the rough
Again,
diamond, the harder,
Yeah.
more punk version, and yeah, I love it.
I mean, this was released as a single along with the Tanana, which we'll talk about later, but they're two very distinctly different sounding tracks, and I have to admit I was caught off guard the first because it was so early into the release of the album, and not much else was out. I was quite surprised by it at first.
In a good way or a bad way? Were you? Because I've seen some people aren't too big a fan of it, and those people are silly.
Again, I'd say it's one that probably, just because, again, I was so used to the sound from Woodstock and Chris Black, it almost mellowed my senses a bit, that it did catch me off guard, but it's definitely one I've grown to quite enjoy, and it's quite fun.
Can you sing along to all the lyrics? It's very difficult. It's very difficult.
Probably not. I probably couldn't. I'm not the best at fast singing.
No, I'm not the best at anything singing wise. No, we start off the song though with like a few chords on the acoustic guitar for a few seconds, and then you frenetically hear the drum smash sound, and then the track just flies off at 100 miles an hour. Brilliant, great fast tempo. I can kind of picture someone. If you've ever been like skiing down a mountain, or racing or driving somewhere, just kind of head down, just going quickly, rushing. Maybe with some like mush dogs as well, flying through, and listening to this track. I think it's amazing. It really gives me a bit of energy, just pumps you up a little bit. Probably much more effectively than what Pittman Ralliers is doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I'd say, I mean, albeit slightly jarring, it's far more like initially palatable than Pittman Ralliers because it's still got, I guess, like elements of the more melodic and past work kind of stuff.
Yeah, this song is definitely about dog sled mushing though, hence the name. It's not a place name.
Yeah.
Continuing the theme of all Alaskan based tracks. Yeah, I love it. It's just again, it's just, I haven't checked, but I reckon this is the fastest singing that PTM have ever done. I can't let it. It's, I don't know if they recorded it and then it's going to be a tough one to reenact live. Like it's going to be very. I remember John Zach talking about like singing "Feel It Still Everywhere." I'm like, man, we should have made this easier to sing live. And I'm like, you're gonna have a tough time with this one, buddy. It's you got to go. So you got to go quickly.
Yeah, it's borderline like rapping.
Yeah,
like not in terms of musical style, but just in terms of tempo.
You're drawn on it a little bit more positively, kind of in the middle on it. Okay, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit then. Yeah. Okay. I should also mention I heard this and I don't know how many people would know about this, but we get a reference to Katamari Damacy, which is a video game from 2004.
Yeah.
Which I was a bit okay.
I love when they throw in these like niche like culture, like pop culture references. Like, I mean, it's
I've only heard it
Bandai.
like once. I've only heard it mentioned once before, and so it just kind of hung in my head, and I'm like, I've heard of that, and I looked it up, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I haven't played any of the games, but I do know the game, and I know it's like Bandai Namco and stuff like that.
It's probably something they were playing when they were much younger, and probably enjoying a lot. Yeah, but it's something I wanted to bring up. So yeah. If you haven't got anything else to mention, have you got anything else you wanted to mention about Mush apart from
I
gushing?
I'll say that I do like how it kind of. I'm trying to remember at what point in the song, but it kind of, if I remember correctly, it kind of slows down
The bridge.
and then speeds back up again.
Yeah.
And that's quite fun.
About the time the bridge, around that kind of area. It's towards the end, yeah.
Right.
That's good. It's nice. Well, I think you have to. If you just go quick the entire way,
Yeah.
it's like, what is fast? Because you're comparing it to what exactly? But I think because you have the intro and then that little bit at the end, it kind of, you catch your breath a little bit. So, but good stuff from Mush.
Yeah. And I will
Oh, yeah.
also mention in the lyrics there is the lyric Pittman Road and Parks Forestry. So I mean
Pittman
Pittman
Road.
Road, I don't know if that is actually a specific road in Alaska, but or like a
Oh,
reference to something
Pop my
wider,
car on
but
Pittman Road.
it does seem there is a Pittman Road in Meadow Lakes, Alaska, but I don't know how far that is relative to some of the other places
Yeah,
that they've
all
mentioned. Oh, it is
happening.
located west of Wasilla, so I don't know.
There's
But then it
chance.
seems apparently more closer to Anchorage, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, if you're not central Alaska, if you're not around Anchorage or Fairview, Fairbanks, or Wasilla, everything else is very remote by the looks of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, on to track 7. We'll give it our best go. Track 7, Tyonek. Or however, I'm not
Yeah,
sure
I'd say
how.
that's.
Tyonek?
Yeah, I'd say probably.
Tyonek. This, okay. Again, another
That's it.
place name. Yeah. Hey, I'm not complaining. Yeah, I'm just a bit difficult to say. The next track is a bit easier to say for me. Anyway, wow, yeah. Another one I actually really like. Probably one of my more favourite tracks. I don't want to show too much bias, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd say it's an underrated. I'd say it's quite an underrated song on the album. At least from when I hear people talk
agree.
about the album as a whole, I feel like it doesn't get mentioned as much as it maybe should.
Rat track 7, we're probably like 20 to 25 minutes in. So at the moment you're like either listening to it or you're back to doing whatever you're doing whilst listening to it. So you're kind of just in the moment. You're just kind of just listening in zone. But yeah, no, I like this a lot. It starts off slow and then pumps up quite quickly. Kind of a little bit like Evil Friends again. I know we just mentioned it with Mush.
Yeah.
In a slightly different way as well. Yeah. What another really good track so far. What do you make of Tyonek from Shish?
I as an overall song, I really like it. I know I've said it so many times already, but it's diverse. Like it solidifies that use of multiple key sounds throughout the album. Like it starts with this guitar and vocals that have been like have some like processing to almost a bit compressed, like, and then it comes in with these nice chords, and then it builds. I mean, it completely from like a minute and 27 seconds, and it just completely changes sound for a second.
Yeah, it just
And then there's these almost after that initial heaviness, there's these almost slightly, I don't know how to describe the vocals, they're almost a bit like deliberately pitchy.
yeah, I kind of get that actually. Yeah, I didn't think about that too much. Yeah, I wonder what the thinking is. Again, a lot of experimentation with this album clearly, and they probably thought, let's just try, maybe not to the levels of the Shish vocals, but
Yeah, for you kind of alternate between the heavy guitar and then those slightly pitchy, but like not pitchy in a bad way. They just, I don't know how else to describe them. Vocals that like it's almost slightly not singing, but is singing, and then it comes in at about 2 minutes 40 with this fun like core. It almost sounds like another chorus of sorts with guitar in the background.
Yeah, I'm almost surprised that this one wasn't. I don't know, not like a single or anything, but I think this would make a better place than something like Tanana or Angoon or something. Personally, for me, but maybe it's too similar to like a Denali or I don't know.
I'd say to me it's one of the more different sounding tracks on the album, like because not all of the tracks are as heavy as this.
Yeah.
Like even at about 3 minutes 15, there's this very high pitch, almost waily kind of sounds in guitar, almost like the start of Denali.
Almost at the start of Denali. Okay. Could you? I'm trying to think now. Apart from Evil Friend, like this, it's definitely a style they've done before, like a theme.
Yeah.
But I just can't.
Maybe to not this level of extremes between the like it's at a point where you almost have to look back on. It's almost a mix of Evil Friends, but then like early stuff, like some of the more like because Waiter actually does have a few tracks that alternate between a quite heavy and slightly more mellow sound, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they've always kind of. I mean, Waiter You Vultures is very Alaskan inspired because. They can't have been
very experimental.
Long, so yeah, very experimental. Yeah, no, definitely. That's a very good point. I did think about that. I've looked up where Tyonek is because we're learning a lot today about where everything is in Alaska. It's west of Anchorage, kind of around, kind of quite far away actually. To be fair, from the rest of the more main central parts of it, but there's a town or a place called Beluga above it. Yes, like the whale. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have too much more to say apart from this one. Hang on one sec.
Yeah, things, but I'd say for the most part we've pretty much said all there is to, like, I mean, there's like some standout lyrics. I mean, like it can be like almost up to interpretation, and it like says "say nothing" a few times, like very like. I know that they definitely feel like they have quite a bit of meaning behind them that's up to interpretation, I suppose.
Yeah, it's also one of the longer tracks as well on the on a sort of massive point. Another thing to mention, but like again, some of these songs that sound like they're multiple mashed up songs. I don't really have too much more to add on this one, to be honest. But I do thoroughly enjoy it. I wonder what the music video will look like for this one if we do get one.
I'd love to see how some of these songs would translate to a music video.
I'd love to see how they translate to live as well, like how much energy they have for these sort of things. Like it's it'll be impressive to see. I'll report back when I hear. Yeah, I don't really have. Do you have anything else you want to mention about Tyonek apart from trying to spell it correctly?
I don't think we I've got anything else to say.
Track 8, Kokhanockers. Did I say that one right?
I'm not 100% certain myself.
Yeah, so Kokhanockers track 8 coming in, and the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, okay. Because obviously you're 8 tracks in, you're thinking, alright, it's going to start. At this point, it's going to start, like the quality's going to wane a little bit, but it just doesn't. It just doesn't. This is another fantastic track I think they've released. It sounds a little bit, and I think I've mentioned this I've mentioned this to a couple of people. Yeah. I think it sounds a lot like a Paul McCartney kind of written track. It has that vibe.
I really like the sounds used. Like it starts very almost dissonant, like with this guitar and these like vocals, and then before it comes in with the slightly sweeter sound of like the main vocals.
Yeah, really good way of putting it. Actually, yeah, I like the way this track just kind of is really different as well from everything else on the album. Like you're going along listening. There's some really highs, some really lows. And then this one just kind of just slows down a little bit. Just slows down, takes a breath.
Yeah.
Just kind of takes a moment.
And-
The kind of thing maybe you'd listen to while
Yeah.
walking through the woods or something, or
And
by a lake.
to me,
or something.
I guess due to the slightly more like relaxed start of the song,
Yeah.
the first lyrics to me do a lot of like not necessarily heavy lifting because like it's not like the rest of the song's bad, but it's like they're more focused because of the more stripped nature of the song, and I do really enjoy those first lyrics. Like there is no place to hide today, tomorrow, or the afterlife. Longing for a life before between the red and blue. Like I really like those lyrics.
Yeah, and the way it like fades out, well, sort of fades out a little bit. Just kind of the repetitive kind of singing of "Dry your eyes, girl, no more crying." Kind of like you're building up to something like a big crescendo ending as well. I just think that's fabulous. It's
Yeah.
just,
I'll say that there's kind of a back and forth like call and response between two distinct, I guess, the light of sounds and the more distorted guitar sounds for the first kind of 2 minutes of the song, but then the song kind of changes its sound to almost give you some sounds more reminiscent of like some In the Mountain and the Cloud era stuff, or almost a bit
Yeah.
of like Endangered Song kind of sound with these guitars, with these kind of like
did you
I don't
enjoy
know
the
how to
trumpets
describe the
in there as
specifics.
well? Come on, give it.
I did, I really did.
It does
Which
add
again
something
is
to it, doesn't
quite
it?
reminiscent of that era.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't know. It's just a super peaceful track to me, and I think when you've got so many highs and lows, it just kind of nullifies everything. I've kind of already said that already a little bit, so take that with a grain of salt. But I don't really have too much more to say about this one, apart from I have no idea what a Kokhanockers is.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not 100% certain on the name sake of that album either. I think it could be referring to the Kokhanock seems to be a census designated place in Lake and Peninsula Borough in Alaska. And as of 2020 it had about 152 people. So it's pretty small.
Okay. Wow, that is I have to bring this place up actually.
The album, yeah, a lot of the places they seem to refer to are very, very small, very like you have to really know Alaska. I feel like.
Definitely. I mean, this is so remote looking at it. It's got a lake on one side, and then, well, you've got the Gulf of Alaska on the other, and part of the North Pacific
Yeah.
Ocean. So, like, my goodness, that is ridiculously.
I'd imagine it's quite the trick to get there.
They have an airport or an airstrip, so people can get there.
So that's probably a small plane, depending on the weather, is probably
It
your
looks like a
best
biplane.
way.
Yeah, you could literally count the houses. That's
Oh.
crazy.
So much of the landscape in that part of the world, and kind of throughout Alaska as a whole, is so harsh. And it's funny because obviously, being in Australia, you get landscape that's so harsh for such different reasons. Because it's just desert, and it's so like such harsh, dry desert, whereas that's like so cold.
Yeah, it's almost the complete opposite, really. Like where they have the incredibly long winters, can only really go and visit there in
Yeah.
like May and June kind of time. Those are like the best. I suppose you can go, but they kind of don't advise people to go to like the outer reaches of Alaska.
Yeah.
You just can't be prepared for it. But yeah, this looks like a lovely, like a beautiful part of the world. Like it's just.
I would
trees
love to see
everywhere.
Alaska. Like, I would love to see it. It's a beautiful looking place.
Just looks fantastic. There's a place called Happy Island I've just spotted. Oh dear.
I mean, there's some interesting place names in not to get too
Oh, no,
sidetracked,
yeah,
but
name
Australia
them.
has some interesting place names as well. There's actually in the state of Victoria there is a Portland,
I was there. Ah, look at that. Huh.
which I mean it makes sense, but it is on the water.
We've
And there
got
is a port. There is
We've got-
Portland Port.
we've got Portland Port. I mean, it makes sense, yeah, being a coastal town. We've got a Portland as well somewhere in England, but or the UK, but it's very small. But a little bit more, not too much more to say on that one for me. One of my more favourable tracks though as well. Definitely does feel like a more not quite a closing track, but one towards the end. Have you got anything else you want to mention about Kokhanockers?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Apart from, I think it's a bit underrated as a song, but
I also do as well. Yeah, I think if I had to rank them, which we'll probably do after this, I think I'll probably put it a little bit higher. Track 9, Tanana.
Petals are falling. I feel a sadness coming down.
Tanana.
this
It's running.
Yeah, I don't. How did you say it earlier?
I said Tanana, Tanana, Tanana. I
I'm
think
not sure now.
Tanana,
It's
Tanana.
banana with
like-
T.
I don't. I guess it depends on if you want to say Tanana or like Tanana, like banana, or like Tanana, like which it's referring to again, it's another place in Alaska. It's a city,
Yes, it's
quite
also
a small one, albeit.
Yeah, so it kind of continues the theme of either a place or something about Alaska, or another homage to do with it. Yeah. So this one, Tanana, which is track 9, released, which I already mentioned, is the third track. It released alongside Mush back in would have been like late September now, I think so. Yeah, around that period of time.
Yeah.
And they kind of both
Yeah, that
contrasted.
is a single. Yeah, they released. It seems. Yeah, 24th of September.
24, so 2 and a bit weeks after Denali came out, we got Tanana
Yeah,
and Mush.
and-
so, I'll go on.
And because in this, yeah, I mean, and to me, Tanana, Mush, and Denali, they're 3 very distinctly different songs.
They all are quite different, and maybe a good expose for the rest of the album. I think it was good. I kind of get why. Yeah. I mean, I would have liked Tyonek as a single, but obviously when you start doing over half the stuff on the track half the stuff on the album as a single beforehand, it's like, okay, what do we? Yeah, no, happy to have it as a single. A bit like we kind of told a lie a little bit earlier because we mentioned about no music videos, but there was kind of a little bit of promotional stuff with it because you'd have like the really high octane fast tempo of Mush with kind of like the extreme. We mentioned the Insane Clown Posse, the Juggalos last time with Thank You Rob, and that kind of style of people, that kind of pain to the face. And then you have like the relaxed Tanana, which is more about like, it just feels a little bit more like family oriented, a little bit more like focused on that, a little bit more nature-esque, a little bit more, I don't really know what the word is, but a little bit more calm compared to, they're very the two sides of the opposite coins, but and by streaming numbers it seems like people are really enjoying this one as well. I should actually point out,
I'd say it's is it the most streamed song on the album?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't got the numbers for every platform in front of me, but
I'm looking at Spotify, and based on Spotify, I believe it is the most streamed song on the album, which I can kind of understand because it's I'd say not that the other songs aren't, but from a like, if you're not looking at it from the perspective of the album, it's a very palatable song. It's more reminiscent to me of some of the slightly more poppy but still like interesting tracks of like In the Mountain and the Cloud. Like
some of my
it does.
Yeah, no, I agree that it does. Yeah, it's very, again, In the Mountain of the Cloud feels very Alaskan as well. I mean, the first track is called So American. So, I mean, it's
and
very,
then even that amazing 13 minute music video with Got It All and Sleep Forever. It's like
I think just going into a bit deeper onto Tanana, I think I like the lyrics.
Yeah,
I light till the shadows are crawling. I feel the sadness coming down. The pigs running the zoo. It's murder in the news. He holds that, but I'm not going to sing
yeah,
it for you. Things work like me and you. Repeat. And I don't know. Doesn't really stand out to me a little bit. That's sort of
yeah.
the chorus, is
And
it?
it
Actually, let me
does a
just
good
check.
job of the
I think it
lyrics
is
kind of do
actually.
a good job of the lyrics do a good job of balancing some. I guess they're more serious lyrics, but they're done in a way that makes them sound all like happy.
Yeah, we do get a lot of that actually throughout this album. A lot through. I mean, I don't want to go back too far in the past, but with the track "Dummy," it's very much like the world is ending, but it's like very like
Yeah,
quite an quite a positive track. Weirdly enough, it's very odd. But yeah, we kind of get a little bit of that as well. It's kind of
I mean, actually, in the same way, dummy, it's just like every I don't know. Yeah, the very it's just like just do whatever you want, kind of like the world's ending, kind of like even
yeah,
the way it's like everybody get on the dance floor. Kind of, I mean, the lyrics in Tanana that are like everything's well that's well at the end. So throw off your clothes, have sex with a friend, turn on the tap just to watch it running out. Like it's very just much like I don't know. There's kind of chaos to it almost.
there definitely is. Yeah, and it's definitely a theme of John to like maybe portray there's more going on a bit deeper when you listen to the lyrics than just the music. Maybe it's just like I don't know. Maybe like take an extra step closer, kind of thought or listen. Maybe there's something to do with that,
Yeah,
or maybe it's just we don't want to sound too negative
yeah,
because that won't be enjoyable. But I
yeah.
just
And I will say, as compared to what some of the other tracks on the album, this is one where I do have one distinct smaller portion that is my favorite part on the song, and it's from about when it goes back, like from about 1 minute 22. There's this fantastic like the instrumental work from about 122 to 1 32, I think. It's just really good, and it's only used in that one point in the song, but it's probably my favorite part in the song, and it's definitely kind of sound I'd like to hear more.
yeah. What do you mean, like in the future or on the album in place of other
Yeah,
things?
uh, both maybe. Like potentially, if they used that a couple more times in Tanana, I would have that would have been a welcome surprise. But I think the song stands on its own, like in the way it's been done. But it's definitely because it did remind me more of some of the interesting like keyboard elements they've used in other past albums. So it's definitely a sound I'd like to see explored in other genres and other ways.
Yeah, and we actually have to tell a lie a little bit. We mentioned that Francis was singing previously on one of the tracks, but well, technically on this one, the lyrics at the end, it's Francis singing
Dir-
na 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 na,
yeah,
like that at the end. So
yeah,
tell a lie, she technically is, but it's very. I think
and
it's about her a little bit as well.
yeah,
Yeah, obviously they don't want to like stick her on every track, but I feel like this one might have worked a bit better having her on.
yeah, and I will say one distinct thing I noticed actually both from my own dad and then other people in the community, there was a lot of people comparing the song and the way it sounds to the song "In the Meantime" by Space Hog. So and
What
that
exactly?
and it's the kind of thing where there's a song by the by Space Hog called "In the Meantime," and it's a lot of people on the both subreddit and like my dad as well actually directly heard like, oh, that Tanana made me think of that song, and it's a kind of they're both song. It doesn't directly sound the same, but you can hear like the kind of almost some of the sound to it.
I never really thought about that. Huh. Interesting. I've just done a quick. I was like looking up where Oh yes, you just linked me the video. Oh okay.
Yeah, check it out like after or something.
Yeah, no, we'll do. Space Hog. In the meantime, okay. I was just looking up where Tanana is, and we've mentioned a couple of places that were like around Anchorage and places like that. This is very far north. This is like a small town, small town. There is apparently there's an airstrip again, not an airport.
Yeah, it seems to be on the Yukon River, I think.
That is the Yukon River. Yeah, well spotted actually as well. So maybe this is.
I mean, and it's so remote.
It is very remote. I mean, what is the population? They're like 300 or something. Let me check the.
It's by places. I mean, it's actually not too far from Tanana. It kind of actually bridges. I mean, there's Tanana River as well, which is kind of interlinked a bit with the Yukon River. So Tanana, I guess, could be referring to both the place and the river that stems from it. And it's not far from places like Fish Lake or Woodchopper.
Yeah, why aren't we getting a song called Woodchopper? Where's Woodchopper? That's on the special edition.
Deluxe.
The deluxe edition, yeah. Track 11, Woodchopper.
I mean, it's just. I mean, you can see from the like amount of place names, it's just so remote.
No, definitely. But yeah, Tanana, one of the first tracks we've got to hear. We're still enjoying it. Yeah. track 9, pretty solid. Do you have anything else you want to mention about Tanana?
No, I don't think so. I think we just.
Do you think this will be worthy of the music video?
Oh, I'd say it would be. I'd be very. Yeah, I'd say with almost like carefree world is ending, whatever, but like the kind of vibe and like the way it presents itself musically, I feel like it would be more fitting for some of the other PortugalTheMan music videos that they've done versus some of the more out there and different sounding tracks. Like, I'd be curious to see what they do with it.
No, definitely. And we got the last track, track 10, Father Gun. That's right, track 10, the closer, the album closer for Shish. Very typical kind of PortugalTheMan. Not typical in a bad way, but very kind of typical there. Closing style. Do you know what I mean? Like this kind of songs you'd expect to hear at the end of an album, like a Sleep Forever.
It definitely is a very closing song. I mean, or even Anxiety, Clarity. It was a very much. It wouldn't fit anywhere else, but it's a very interesting song to me. Father Gun, like. Definitely some albums, the last song, albeit still important, doesn't have as interesting as a sound, but to me, Father Gun is a particularly interesting track.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
one
thing I guess to get right into it, the first like 28 seconds are unlike anything else on the album, and it's just this fantastic synth chord that's like it slowly builds and then it comes in, and it's. I love the way that sounds and the texture on it.
We get another long instrumental at the beginning, don't we? It's another. I don't know if it's as long as Denali, but it's very similar, isn't it? In like duration. As you mentioned, we got that like beginning part. It's just. It doesn't sound like anything I've ever heard that they've done before. Very like
ethereal. It's very.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's
very ethereal. Good word.
And then it goes straight into something I'd almost say sounds like Primus or something. Very almost like heavy bass, almost a sound that's like a door creaking. And again, almost deliberately like pitchy.
There is that door creak sound actually. Now you mention, I remember that. Yeah,
and then it goes into this very heavy like guitar and drums.
Yes, it very much does.
With some kind of wind instrument elements almost, and it kind of combines some of the heaviness and melodic elements you get throughout the album.
Yeah, it's almost I think they do a good job with this one of kind of taking, as you said, like the better elements of past songs and kind of maybe not using them again, but like, you know, it's a little bit of a smorgasbord of what we've just heard for the past however many minutes the album is at that point before it starts. But yeah, the previous 36 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
oh, go on.
I was going to say the way the vocal it's kind of again similar to things we've heard before on the album. The way there's these kind of chill vocals, but then there's these very distorted kind of like compressed drums in the background. But it definitely keeps that theme of going from the very heavy instrumental elements to a break with the vocals that are very melodic.
No, definitely. It works though, doesn't it? Are you a fan of the Father Gun, whoever the Father
I
Gun
am.
is? I am. Oh, good to know. It's definitely probably in like the middle of the park for me. I've got to be honest. I think they've done better closing tracks. Maybe it doesn't quite hit what I'm after. Maybe it's something to do with the lyrics or something. I don't know. Something's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just
Like,
I don't like the more somber tracks. I'm more a little bit attuned to the more happy kind of high tempo ones. I don't know.
I mean, the way it kind of jumps from the chill vocals for me, I really into when it says waves 3 feet and rising. There's this again, kind of slightly similar to what you get in Pittman Ralliers. This kind of very compressed drum that kind of goes around your head, and then when he says when they say jump in, it gets very heavy, and then into this chorus kind of, and I really like the chorus, and it kind of resonates some of the themes and feelings throughout the song, like throughout the album rather. Like, everything's alright inside my world. I feel nothing at all. I'll be the puppet burning up in the sun, my eyes full of wonder, live and die by the gun. Like, I know that to me that it's so much like behind those lyrics, it feels like.
Yeah, there's something.
Especially live and die by the gun.
Yeah. Now I don't know if it was picked up on, but right at the end of my chat with John, we were talking about guns very briefly as well. He's pro gun. Obviously, he grew up in a place where I think you need something like that. I mean, you could. There's a lot of fauna out there. Flora. I can't remember which one. Animals, basically. You know, that could kill you very easily. So you need that kind of protection, and he's very much defensive on it. And
yeah,
I there's nothing. I get it from that perspective. Obviously, I live in a country
guns and hunting would probably be quite big in Alaska, I'd imagine.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, they told the story. God, I can't even remember. I don't even know if I should say it, but there was a story when Zach was very young, and he was out with his dog out in I can't remember, in like the back of his garden or something, and he's out playing, and there was like an elk or like a deer. I can't remember what like the more winter themed animal was out there, and he's playing with it, and obviously it's kind of, I think it's lost or something, or it's kind of away from its pack, and then he turns around and the mother's there. Now obviously the mother is an elk that weighs 1.5 tons. It's got the crown horns. You don't want to mess between that and its cub. And he was right in the middle of it, and I don't know if his dog was actually out there, but it came out and it rescued him. It like distracted it enough for him to like get out of the way, because obviously if you're in the middle and you're like interfering with its cub, now a situation like that calls for you might, not to be dark, but you might need to use a firearm in that situation. Now, I don't. That probably has nothing to do with Father Gun whatsoever, but it's an interesting story of like. I mean, Zach could have very easily been killed. Yeah, he could have very easily been killed. That's how dangerous Alaska is.
Yeah. I mean, you can. I mean, even there's. I mean, guns have definitely been mentioned throughout like their various songs. Like there's guns, guns, guns on Waiter. There's there's Guns and Dogs, which I mean are
Mm.
off Satanic Satanist, and I mean they're both very probably crucial things you'd have in Alaska.
Absolutely, yeah. So maybe the father gun. I'm not sure. Do you think it's a person? Like, what do you? Who is this
Um,
individual? Is it the idea of having a gun? Oh, like Father Gun. Like that's his shotgun name, or I don't know.
I mean the way I know because even it does feel very important even and grandiose in the way it says even like as I mentioned before, live and die by the gun. Like all the lyrics they're very I don't know. The lyrics are quite almost a bit depressing at times. No one to turn to, no heroes
Yeah.
or villains. I feel nothing. I feel nothing. No one to turn to, no heroes. Like, and it's like, I don't know.
Sorry. It's a very somber ending, isn't it? And the way it kind of drowns out, and
Yeah,
then that ending, the way it like, I wouldn't say gurgles out, but it kind of like, it's just very, I don't know. It's very a little bit
I
abrupt.
definitely love. Yeah, I'd love to hear some more insight into what the
Yes.
lyrics mean because it feels like there is a lot there that I just don't understand. Even like, I mean, like it's a lot of repeating of that I feel nothing at all, and like,
Mm. Okay. Okay.
and
Do you have anything
it
else?
says a few times even plant me, bury me in the ground. Like,
Yeah. That's very much a person who's okay with
it feels very final.
yeah. Hence being probably a good place for being the last track then.
Yeah,
Mm.
I would say it's the second least streamed song behind Pittman Ralliers. I
Yeah,
do
but
think with how
some
much it
people.
has thematically, or especially it probably suffers from it being the last song and a longer
Yeah.
last song, but I would say it's from how much depth there is to the song and both the different sounds and lyrics. Like you can almost either choose to look at them as separate things, the music and the lyrics, and then together as a whole. Like there's so much there, I feel like.
Yeah, no, couldn't agree more with obviously being at the end as well, people are going to taper off the casual folks that maybe don't get all
Yeah.
the way through. But yeah. In terms of comparing it to Anxiety Clarity, I don't even think you can compare it to Noise Pollution. Noise Pollution just doesn't sound like an ending song to me. I
No.
love it, but it just isn't. You compare it to Sleep
It
Forever.
feels
You
just
could,
like another song, kind of.
yeah, yeah. So, but when you compare it to Smile, Sleep Forever, Mornings, stuff like that, in that range, it's very much in that typical kind of big finale
Yeah.
kind of song, very impactful.
I
Yeah.
mean, and they do have a history of kind of slightly more somber sounding
Hmm.
final tracks. Like, say some of the musical elements, for example, in Mornings, for example, are a bit more like somber sounding.
Yeah. No. No.
And I'd
No. True.
say
Hmm.
both Anxiety Clarity, I mean, and Father Gun to me, they're both slightly longer tracks that encapsulate a lot of meanings, like and themes throughout the album and kind of capture it in one song.
Yeah. And that's normally, and as we've said before, I think it's a good climax to kind of
Yeah,
compile everything that has come before it in one big bang right at
yeah.
the end, finish them off. That's just yeah,
I mean, to me,
it works for
Sleep
me.
Forever. Yeah, Sleep Forever, Anxiety Clarity, and Father Gun to me, they're all. I mean, they have a lot of similarities in that they're
Mm.
slightly longer tracks that encapsulate the album, and they actually all have very kind of lyrics that feel very final. Like, and the ending when the ending of Anxiety Clarity when Paul Williams, like,
Mm.
has that, like, talks about that fire, like, it
That's right.
feels so like the like final.
But he's not talking about Disneyland. Yeah, that's yeah. Do you have anything else you want to mention about the father gun? I
I
think
mean, I think it's a fantastic way to wrap up the album. Like it to me, it's everything that like as an album, Shish is like.
it's just interesting that they didn't end with like a place name. But again, I do wonder what Father Gun is. Maybe we'll find out one day.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait.
Okay, so we've just kind of been through all the tracks. Some with a little bit more depth, some with a little less depth. Anyway, we're at this point. I thought next it'd be good to go through and just kind of rank them from 10 to first, each of us, just to kind of get an idea of what we jive with, what we don't jive with, and I'll as you're the guest, I'll let you go first, Dylan. Just have to say,
Yeah.
what was
Before
your
I
10 Oh yeah, go on.
before I give my ranking, I do want to preface how close it was between the songs. Like, this wasn't just because a song is last, for example, isn't necessarily like I don't like the song. It's like picking between your favorite children. It's like they're all fantastic in their own way, but it was a very tough decision, and it's
Just for
very subjective. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this ranking is completely different in like 5-6 months.
Just for anyone's reference, Dylan has taken like 10, 15 minutes to decide his ranking. And even me looking at it, it was like, late on, I was like, no, I'm changing a couple of these around as well. Like, it's very, especially the middle parts of this, it's all very close. But what is what's your 10th track?
In number 10, I've played it quite safe, and even I don't fully know if I agree with it myself, but I've gone with Pittman Ralliers just purely because I love how the musical element of it, but just for me, it's a song I objectively don't listen to as much just because on a daily rotation basis, it's quite heavy and jarring. So, like,
Okay.
and when I listen, it's not like I'd ever skip it when I listen to the album, for example, on vinyl, but it's just in the moment, like, very vibe dependent, that one.
Okay, my number 10 is Shish. I think when I think about all of these tracks, it's the one I probably skip the most. I don't jive with it. I like the middle bit and the ending, obviously, as we mentioned, but I think for the title track, I just think it missed the mark for me, and I'm sorry, I'm just not going to be. It's just not for me, I'm afraid. I don't really think it was produced. I think it was produced well. I just don't think it works for me. So Shish is my
I'd say
number
that's
10.
fair.
I mean, I've also put this in a category of 9 and 10 is I don't like. 8, 7, and 6 are kind of
Wow.
in the middle, and then my top 5 is I love. So
I couldn't
it's
do that. There's not a single song on this album I dislike.
what is your number 9
And to
that you,
me,
you definitely don't
I'll,
like?
I'll say my 9 and 8 are very interchangeable and purely just vibe dependent. And I feel like I'm doing a bit of a backstep from how much I actually sung praises for this track in the talking about it. Now, I actually, even up until the point of me being about to say what it was, I wasn't sure, and it was very close between this track and my number 8, and like I actually had them swapped originally, but for my number 9, I'm gonna have to go with Shish, just because I agree there are shortcomings from the song, like primarily that intro that I just don't enjoy to listen to as much. That combined with just there's a bit more weight on the album on the track's shoulder.
That's very fair, yeah.
Track.
I mean, again, it is the title track at the end of the day, and if it just doesn't deliver, it doesn't deliver, and it just doesn't. So, for you personally, for me as well, you were a little bit brave. We kind of had the same 9 and 10. And I think most people probably have at least one of them at the 9 and 10 if they were ranking it. So that's all in good just. But yeah, my number 9 is Pittman Ralliers. Yeah. So my number 9, Pittman Ralliers. Just, it's not bad. It's just not for me. And does it fit into the album? I'm not sure. But I like that they experimented with it. And I probably do actually enjoy it more than Shish. Marginally. I would put them two in the kind of I would skip category though, generally, but not always. That's kind of where I'm with it, with Pittman. What?
Okay, so now is
your number 8, yeah.
For number 8, I almost feel a bit bad because with how I kind of sung praises of how this was an underrated track on the album, I felt like it's potentially like no, I didn't represent it fairly in this top
Uh-oh.
10 ranking, but it's Tyonek.
Oh wow, you got Tyonek there. Okay, in number 8. Okay.
A track that I do think it's very underrated, and I love the way the start is, and even though it's one of the elements I sung praises for, just very mood dependent on the way, on the slightly pitched vocals. Like, it's in the same way. It'll be very different sound wise. I love prog rock music, but it's not something I can listen to every day, no matter what. Like, it's a song I do
That's fair.
genuinely. I appreciate the song and what it does. I just can't like, and I'm thinking of this from a perspective of how often I could probably like listen to it. I guess.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a good way of me, like, how much do I want to listen to it? And my favourites, yeah. No, that's fair. I'll take no offence to that. Okay. My number 8 is Tanana. Yeah, this is kind of in the middle range for me. It's not a bad song at all. I don't think it's a particularly amazing one, but it's in that category of kind of 8, 7, and 6 where I'm like, okay, I'm not skipping it. I'm enjoying it. Maybe I'm not loving it. Do you know what I mean? And maybe I'm not singing along, but
Yeah.
it's in that phase. Yeah, I'm not too sure what to do to improve it, to bump it up a little bit. But that's kind of where I feel kind of on a vibe space and where I'd want to play it. There's just other tracks I'd want to play ahead of it.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
Yeah. And what did you have it? You've done your number 8 because you said Tyonek. Your number 7.
So now number 7.
Please.
My number 7 is a song that I feel like is kind of self-explanatory because I did voice how the song took me a while to get adjusted to, and whilst I love the energy, again, can't listen to it super frequently. My number 7 is Mush.
Oh, I'm a little surprised to hear that, actually. Okay, that's fair enough.
I think, again, like, in the way I said, this ranking will probably I will give context for the fact that it probably is 2:12 in the morning for me, my time zone. It probably does influence my ranking slightly just because it's a bit heavier sound wise. And I'd say, even as I'm saying it, I'm not fully sure I agree with what I'm saying, and I'd say I could probably change it with my number 6, and I'd be happy
Okay.
with that. But again, it's such a solid album that there's not really a bad song on it. So just because something's number 7, it's not like it's bad.
Yeah, no, I feel like this is kind of a nice middle point where you're enjoying it, maybe not loving
Yeah.
it. No, that's completely fair.
Yeah.
My number 7, we just talked about it, Father Gun. Now,
Oh.
in terms of like closing tracks, maybe because it's at the end, I'm not getting to it as much. I don't know why. I normally play through everything, but I don't have this in my like main songs playlist. I don't actively look out to listening to it. It's yeah. I don't know. Maybe I want something a little bit. I don't know. I'm not too sure what I'm looking for with it. I don't love it though. I've got to be honest. It's not for me. It comes on, I enjoy it, but I think the end is a little too somber. I'm trying to look for things that are a little bit more positive in life, and Father Gun is just not.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe not. It's a little bit too down that. It's like, don't bum me out a little bit. I don't know. There's something there I'm not quite vibing with, but overall, I think as a closing track, it's still very good. It has a lot of merits. I like the intro. I like the band. I love how everything sounds on it. But for me, it's just not quite. I don't know. That's why it's number 7. Like, it's not genuinely. It's not like an obscene thing in my life. It's not like a pain,
Yeah.
but it's in that point.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing by your tone, you probably have it much higher. But that's just kind of where I have.
Not much higher,
Father
but
Gun.
yeah, but you'll see.
Yeah. But yeah,
Now
that's Father Gun
numbers.
for me at number 7.
Yep.
We're up to your number 6. Number 6, please.
My number 6 track is actually one that I feel like it took time for me. Like, I mean, all of this album to me has taken time, but my number six is Kokhanockers, or however you want to pronounce
Okay.
it. Especially that last minute of the song for me, I adore the shift in sound that it's so reminiscent of that older music, but then I love to me the heaviness in the song feels very, albeit some would argue maybe a bad thing. It feels very controlled in a way.
Okay.
It doesn't, and there's just some melodic.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I know what you're going for. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
not. It's not for everyone. No, that's fine. You don't have to explain yourself with it. No, it's all good. It's more like a passion thing. I
There's
can
so
get
many
it.
melodic details I just really enjoy in the song.
Yeah, and it's nice in a nice middle area. Yeah, that's fair enough. Awesome. That was your number 6. Mine. Don't tell Kojima. It's Angoon.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just again. I don't have like massive thoughts on why this is 6 versus 5 versus 7. It's all very. I kind of put like Angoon, Father Gun, and Tanana kind of all in the same bracket. Realistically, they're all they're okay. I'm not loving them. I'm not hating them really either. That's kind of how I break it up. We'll get to the more loved ones in a moment, as you'll work out what they are. But Angoon for me is just a very, again maybe a little bit, a bit somber. I don't know. There's something about it. It's just not. Something's missing. But overall, I like it. It's part of the album. It's got a lot of good merits about it. Yeah, it's sitting comfortably at number 6. I did have it a little bit lower, but I bumped it up while we were writing this out. I had a little bit lower, but actually no, I do like Angoon. So there is my number 6. Right, we're into the top 5 now. What is your numero 5?
Coming in at number 5 is a track you ranked slightly lower, but not too much lower. My number 5 is Father Gun.
Okay, no, I respect that. Yeah,
I like how much it does in one song. Like, I don't know, and to me, even though it's a very small part of the song, and you could argue almost slightly ruins the way I rank it, the first, that first 20 to 28 seconds of just that synth, even though it's not really anything musically rather than like one kind of slightly shifting chord, I was so shocked by that the first time I heard it. And then the way it transitions into something so different. Like, and the whole I love the way the last minute and a half of the song sounds as well. Like, there's some elements I just really like that are. And it's really different elements within the same song too.
Yeah, for me, that kind of fade out ending thing of Father Gun was kind of a little bit of a. It's like you could end it on a big hit or something like that, but it just kind of fades out a little bit, and that's kind of. I like the beginning bit, but it's okay, it's just. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't do as much for me, but respect, number 5 now. Father Gun, number 5. It could only be the last track on the playlist, so it's kind of in a stifled area, isn't it? Really, I don't think it works anywhere else. Maybe it does. I don't know. Would you say anything else could be the closing track realistically for this album?
Honestly, I'd say not really, because from a combination of the length of the track, combined with the energy, I mean, this, there are some musical elements, maybe, the somber nature of the end of Kokhanockers, to me, has kind of end song vibes, but if from an overall song, I feel like it's the best fit.
No, that's fair. I was going to say Tanana, I think could potentially be maybe Father Gun has to go a little bit earlier, but then you could do something a little bit end on a positive.
I mean, considering how both positive, but then also the world is ending, I could actually I could see that.
That's just my opinion. Anyway, that was your number 5, Father Gun. My number 5 is the place we can't say correctly, Knik. Yeah, I like this one. It's a really well constructed track, good psychedelic elements.
I strong agree on that one.
Yeah, I think with the lo-fi elements, I think this song could have also been called On Standby. I think keeping with the All Alaska theme that we've got with Shish, I respect that it kept its name. Yeah, yeah. Knik is at my number 5. I do love this song. This is in my I enjoy category. What have you got at your number 4? Now we're getting serious.
Now-
Oof.
Okay, number 4 again is a track that I know it's an interesting one for me. Like it probably could maybe sometimes be lower, or sometimes how it is depending on my vibe. But it's Tanana. Like it's a
Okay.
very
Okay, I
fun,
respect
very
that. I
like
respect
happy
that.
sounding track. To me, it's one that some of the songs I can listen to a few times in a row quite a bit, whereas that one, if I listen to it too much in a row, does get a little bit samey. But
Hmm.
I really like that. I mean, to me, it stands not necessarily stand out in terms of like quality, but in terms of sound, it very much is a standout track. Like none of the other songs on the album really sound like it, and I just find it interesting the way they kind of like, hey, what if we do a song that sounds like this on the album?
Yeah, that's very fair. Yeah, and
And then, as I mentioned, when we initially, not to cut you off, but
no,
when
go
we
on.
initially talked about it, that one single section from about 122 to 132 is so fantastically done.
Yeah, it's a really good element. So there's lots of little segments throughout this album. A lot of little segments throughout the album that are
Yeah,
just
and there's a
really,
little,
really well
yeah,
constructed. Yeah, this is just
and,
musicians who have been doing it for 20 years, know what they're doing, produced really well. Yeah, no, it doesn't
and
surprise me that.
towards the also towards the end of the track, there's this like kind of like a solo, but like it's not super heavy. It's more just in line with the slightly poppier sound. It's about like 2 minutes, like 2 minutes 10,
Hmm.
and it's a nice little breakout before it goes back into the like chorus. I
Yeah, a
don't
lot
know.
of.
It's a.
Oh, go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's a very like I don't know, very good like song to just kind of have on like good like energy, but then also if you look at the lyrics a bit deeper, it's kind of like I like the difference between the lyrics and like the sound.
Okay, respect that. Yeah. My number 4 is Kokhanockers. A bit like how you had Kokhanockers a bit lower down, I had Tanana a bit lower down. We kind of flipped a little bit, but yeah, this track
I mean,
got a little time for it. Got a little time for it. It's something we've not really heard in a long time from PTM, and you've got to be in the mood for it. Definitely got to be in the mood for it. But when it
yeah.
comes on in the album, I'm like, oh yes, a bit of Kokhanockers.
I mean,
Just kind of
again,
close its.
yeah,
So
depending on the vibe, it's definitely one I could rank higher if I like felt in the right vibe. Like it is a fantastic track.
also in the last couple of years, really respected the more reserved tracks stuff. Music that's a little bit more. I don't know. I don't want to say like. I can't even put like a style to it or anything, but like my taste has changed quite a bit in the last like year or two
Yeah.
to what I like, and a song like that kind of it's maybe not there, but it's like going there. So it's kind of on the way there. So yeah, respect to a bit of Kokhanockers, and I mean, if you've got the word honkers and cock in a title, yeah, that is ballsy. There we go. That is my number 4. We're up to your number 3 now. Oh, serious.
I I mean, for my number 3, I mean, it kind of makes sense, but we're coming at number 3 for me is the first track on the album, first single, Denali. Like, it's one that originally, actually, there was a period where I didn't like it as much, but the more I've listened to it, I mean, the intro is so dramatic and it's such a fun, like, song, and it really sets the scene for me.
Wow. Yeah, I'm yeah, big fan of Denali. Hasn't popped up on my one yet so far, but yeah, no, respect it. It's a really good title starting track as well. Maybe one of their best
Like,
ones, to be honest. Actually, like I
I
think I
honestly,
like it.
it's very strong.
Like I think I
Like,
prefer
the
it over
way
Heavy Games. I think I prefer it over number one. I think I prefer it over Plastic Soldiers. I think I prefer it over So
I mean,
American.
they have some very good first tracks.
Yeah, but
I mean, the
just
way
think
it goes
I think it's
into
their best
yeah,
one.
the way it goes straight from that little breakdown into like Guatemala, no unity for Ghost in the Sugarcane. Like I've never been to Guatemala, but I'll gladly
Have you
shout
not?
that when it like I have not not very approachable from being in Oceania. It feels like it'll be a great
Yeah,
song for like live.
it is very good. Yeah, it turns to live very well, performs live very well.
It's
Yeah.
very
Oh,
dancey too, actually, albeit like there's the heavier
yeah.
bits which are a bit less so, but it's very dancey for me.
Yeah, I definitely don't sit still with that one on. Yeah, awesome. Your number three, Denali. My number three. Oof.
And also, I will just
Oh, sorry.
quickly add that
Yeah, yeah,
I
sure.
know no idea if it relates or not, but the Denali does a bit say Master of Reality, and I will say that is a fantastic well, I mean, it's a
Always
good
say.
album in my opinion.
Oh no.
Or even Master of Reality, referring to the Sabbath album, but
I didn't know that. Oh, okay. Oh,
I have
I
no
learned
idea if
something new.
it's related or not. But it's a good album, so at least
Potentially.
in my opinion.
Okay, my number three, Mush. So I think then we'll have none that are the same in the same position, which shows you how
Yeah, Mush
the
was my
diaspora.
number 7 because I
Yeah,
did mention how I found it a bit jarring at first.
it was something I was looking forward to. I love the high tempo music. It just gets me energized. I like it, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. A bit like Pittman Ralliers. It's only 2 minutes. It's the shortest track of the album, so it's kind of in and out. Nice little injection. It's like a Lucozade. You just get the energy and then crack on. That's not a knock on it, but yeah, it's a Kokhanock. There we go. But yeah, Mush, love it. One of my favourites. As soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, I love this. Really want to see a music video for that one. That was my
Yeah,
number three. Yeah. Your number two.
I mean,
What is getting the silver? What's getting silver from you?
whereas almost honestly anywhere from 3 to 10, they're quite still close to me. For me, 2 and 1 are quite like they were the ones I knew immediately, and honestly, for me, 2 and 1 are interchangeable. But for me, at least at the moment, for number 2, I've put Angoon.
Oh wow, okay. The one I had at number 6 is your number 2. Wow,
Yeah,
again shows you the big break in it, but yeah,
I
what
I
a
love I mean, from the energy, like from that very start to like, I love how it starts with that quite stripped acoustic guitar, and then builds to this, and then like I said, almost get Nirvana sounding like guitar riff. And then, I mean, and the lyrics are great lyrics, like, especially with the relevance of the lyrics about, like, no ice and things like that. I know, it's just the energy for the song and, like, it's very rousing.
very very rousing. Yeah. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, and Kojima's a fan, so he's on the team.
That's
He's
always a
on the team.
bonus.
It's a little bonus, yeah. So that was your number 2, Angoon. Mine. You said it was slightly underrated. I think it's very rated. It's Tyonek at number 2.
Which
I
which a track I simultaneously said was underrated, but then ranked low.
and I put it quite
Which,
highly because I think it is very good. Yeah, just a fabulous track all around. I love it when it comes on. It's brilliant, great single. I think as well. It would have made again. I think it would have made a really good one. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I like it an awful lot. But it hasn't quite made my number 1 spot. If you've been following along, what I've left as number 1, but yeah, it's a fabulous track, and I'd love to hear it live at one point. See how
oh,
it
that would be cool.
translates. Yes. So that was my number 2, Tyonek. What have you got left, Dylan? What could be left?
Well, I mean, by process of elimination, there's only one song that's left, and for me, at least in the past month or two, I've been listening to the song definitely even heavier than Angoon, and for me, that song is Knik.
Mm.
It's just, I love this. To me, this one, even some of the ones, like there's the back and forth between the two distinct sides. This for me is very distinctly split in the middle, and I love both halves so much because you get the way it. Sometimes it can almost be a bit jarring if it goes chill then heavy, chill then heavy. But this you kind of get this
Yeah.
mellow, and then it just builds into this very very long, fantastic guitar solo, and then it's the energy is. I'd love to hear this live.
Yeah,
Like the
Nick
tone
Reinhardt
on the
really killed it
guitar.
with this track, didn't he?
Yeah,
I think he did a fabulous job. I think it's a fabulous track as well. I have it high. I do love it as well. Just have it a little bit lower. I probably could have bumped it up to number 4, but Kokhanockers just swept it over that one. But yeah, Knik number 1 track. Wow, it is. You did say you like longer tracks, and I think it is the longest, isn't it? So
I like longer tracks, but then I also love the way some people may find it a bit uninteresting, but the way it's like basically just like a 2.5 minute guitar solo at the end. I love the way that sounds.
yeah, awesome. Yeah, brilliant. Big fan of Knik. Yeah. No, glad it made you number 1 because my number 1. Well, do you know what it is? What have we not mentioned?
Well, going by process of elimination, would it be Denali?
It would be Denali. Yeah, I think ever since I heard this originally, it was like, wow, this is such an upgrade from maybe the low. I just think about the low points of the last maybe stuff you don't quite jive with on Woodstock or Chris Black and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you get a song like this, and you're like, wow, this feels levels above what there are. This feels just phenomenally better than anything. I didn't even know it was them. Like we said previously, like you, I was like,
Yeah.
this can't be them. I genuinely thought this can't be them. It's so good. I was like, wow, there's levels, and they absolutely smashed it with Denali. I think it's fabulous. I love the intro. Just gets you kind of. It works great as the first track as well. I've wanted a really good opening track as well for a little while. Not that the rest are bad. It's just this is just phenomenal. I think it's their. I don't know if this is their best song they've ever done. It's a weird conversation to have because a lot of people will say, technically it would be Feel It Still is the most important track because obviously it's kept them going, financially stable. But I think this is one of their best pieces of work. And I think about production values on this track as well. It's phenomenal. It's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, and it's as if we both chose some of the slightly longer tracks for our number 1, and I think they're both tracks that use their length very well. It's not it could have been shorter or
Yeah, no, couldn't agree more. Yeah, no, I just feel like even though Mush was number 3 for me, and that was the shortest track, but that's just kind of where I sit with them at the moment. And yeah, the longer ones just doing some really good work. Yeah, so that's what we liked, what we disliked.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be some angry people listening to this, be like, "Where is? No, I'm sure that's too high." And okay.
Or
Everyone's got their own
even
opinion.
just for the fact we both ranked Pittman Ralliers low.
Well, I went 9 and you went 10, and then you did. I did 10 for Shish and you did 9 for Shish. So we definitely know what the Yeah. Sorry.
And I think those are going to be some unpopular opinions.
I think that's. I don't know. I think the rest of the album, though, you could put 1 to 8, and people could be like, "No, I understand that." Yeah.
Yeah, and I will mention since they're tracks we both rank, but these 3 tracks I'm about to mention, since we both kind of rank them all at least somewhat highly between us, KUTX Austin has a PortugalTheMan did an acoustics like acoustic with piano set of Knik, Tanana, and Denali, and then kind of like a bit of interview between that, and that's worth a listen, just because it's like, I mean, it's interesting hearing those like songs on an album that's so based around like electric guitar and those elements stripped back.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more as well. And it'll be nice to hear what they're doing if they go like with live. Yeah. Just exciting, because I've kind of not listened too much to the live stuff, like the VODs and stuff, to kind of experience it in person. So
one thing I will say about that specific performance that I do find a bit funny is they did spell Knik wrong in the title.
I saw this. You're right.
Yeah,
That's right. Oh, God.
They spelled it Knick.
Well,
Knick.
Like we said, I thought there should have been a C in there as well. So, the way you pronounce it. But overall, that was our 1 to 10 rankings of the 1 to 10 of Shish, the 10th studio album by PortugalTheMan. I've got like one more like question, Dylan, before we wrap up. We're gonna skip the song quiz, everyone. I apologise this week for this period, but there'll be more of that to come. Don't worry. Looking ahead, what is next for the band? What is next for this collaborative group of people?
I mean,
of musicians.
I'd say we're probably going to see a few more live shows. Hopefully, some more announced as this year kind of comes on. It depends like why I guess the current shows might be postponed, whether it's political or personal. But we'll just have to say like I assume there will be like some more live shows. I have a feeling probably some more merch, but unlikely. I think we'll see any new music at least in the immediate future. Just because it was quite a music-heavy year last year.
I reckon probably no new music this year. Maybe they'll be on a feature or something. I mean, there's some stuff. They've literally, as we were talking beforehand, they released a song on Boxing Day, for goodness sake, which, for Americans, because they don't have Boxing Day, it's the 26th of December. So there you go. Almost up into this year, so they've been busy. They'll probably release stuff and make me look a bit silly, but I wouldn't be surprised.
This is an album I'll definitely be happy to sit on this their full discography now with this album as well for the next like year or two.
Yeah, I'm feeling fed. Do you know what I mean? Like I was a bit hungry before Chris Black, and now I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good. I've got plenty to enjoy. And we're at that point now where you go back to an album like Satanic or Censored Colours or Churchmouth that you may have known in a little while. Like that's many moons ago. That's like 5+ albums.
Yeah.
Ago. So, okay, got lots to eat into.
Like,
so.
Yeah, and this album kind of just because this album now as part of their discography means they've such a diverse discography.
Yeah, it makes the song game harder as well. Keep adding to it. Yes, it's only going to get tougher when they keep adding to it. But yeah, I think about that jacket they had where they had Woodstock and like the 8 albums they'd released at that point. Do you know the one? It was like 17. It was like the clock hands on the back with all the albums. Is that a jacket?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, they're going to have to do a new one soon of them, aren't they?
New jackets always welcome. I love jackets.
I love a jacket, yeah. But yeah, I think probably no news like in studio music this year. Maybe there's a single, maybe there's something like that. I think this year is going to be about touring when touring can, and then features when features opportunitize, and don't have problems with credits and stuff like that. So that's a thing as well. So I'm not sure how much we can talk about that. I don't really know. So but yeah, looking ahead positively into 2026, it's definitely going to be good to see them. I know they've just done like a lot of America. They're going to do Europe and then South America hopefully this year. Maybe a bit of Asia by the end of the year. Ooh.
Hopefully some Oceania.
Japanese. Maybe. How close is Papua New Guinea from you? They're not going there, but anyway.
As countries go, it's pretty. accessible geographically, but still not exactly close. I think it would probably, if I had to guess, probably be easier to get back to for me to get back to New Zealand.
Fair enough. Well, I was picking like the next closest Asian country, but they'll do Japan. That'll be fun. Maybe a bit of South Korea.
That'll be a niche show.
That'd be we're doing Papua
Portugal,
New Guinea with the locals trying to survive. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at with Shish, the 10th studio album, and as we hit the over 3 hour mark, potentially less with editing. Do you have any like final thoughts about Shish overall, like an overall opinion of it?
I would say overall it's a fantastic album that to me definitely, like, I could be wrong, but to me it indicates the start of potentially a turning point in some of their kind of sound, just because, like, I mean, they are off a major label, and to me there definitely are some sounds on this album that I feel like a major label like Atlantic may not approve of as much.
Yeah,
just because
point, actually.
It doesn't have as much mainstream radio appeal.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I mean, well, we say that. I mean, Angoon's done pretty well popularised, and then Tanana and Denali, I think, have done well enough as well.
I'd say Angoon and Tanana are probably the most, like, not normal sounding songs, but they're the most like, they don't have as much of that like change in sound, for example.
Yeah,
they have a more standard progression.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. Yeah, for me overall, I think it's a good return to form. It feels like an ode to the past, but like looking ahead as well. It's a respect to Alaska. It's a really well crafted album. I mean, there's not many albums where 80% of the tracks I enjoy. It doesn't happen a lot. I think I like it more than Woodstock and Chris Black, quite at the moment. So that's good. I think it's probably like number 3 in terms of albums. Number 3, maybe 4. I don't know. It's all nonsense anyway. I don't want to rank them, but it's up there. I'm very, very high on it. It does what I've been asking for a while, and I look forward to seeing if we get music videos or anything like that, or what's next.
Yeah.
From them, but yeah, very happy to get this. This feels like, and even we mentioned it briefly earlier, but like Uwu Selects came out a few months later, and it's like just getting that pipeline of music coming through, and it being such a high quality. It's like, wow, this is just what we've been waiting for. Like, I don't know what to say really. Like, I'm pleased to have it. So yeah, Shish, the 10th studio album. I think it knocked it out of the park. I think it did everything pretty well. I think this is like an 8 or a 9 out of 10 for me. I don't know if you want to give it like a number rating, but that's kind of where I'm sitting. Like, it's
I'd say like 8 at the minimum.
Yeah, I think it's very good. I don't know if it's a masterpiece. Obviously, there's some tracks that we rated 9 and 10 that might need to be worked on a little bit for that, but I mean, I like the experimentation.
Masterpiece, like even there are a lot of elements in this album that even if I don't directly or always enjoy listening to as much, I very much like. I still wouldn't change it, even if they like said, "Oh, would you want us to change it?" I'd still say no, because it's like I like how the album is as a package.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, I think we're both pretty content and pretty happy with Shish, and I look forward to what they've got next in 2027 and onwards. Take a break, guys. Don't release anything next year. Tour if you can.
Don't spread yourselves. Don't spread yourselves too thin.
Yeah, there's an EP coming out in June. We don't know about. It's 20 tracks long.
A new acoustic album's always welcome.
This is something else as well for looking ahead. I asked it to John. I think they're open with the idea, and maybe an acoustic version of Shish. Maybe they'll call it. What was the full place name called? Shish Maher or something. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they call it that.
Shish,
or something.
Is it that Shish Marif? Shish
Marif, that was it, thank you. Yeah, Shish Marif. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll call it that. That's the acoustic version, but I'd be down for an acoustic version. I don't know how the hell Father Gun would sound weird on that. I'd like to hear what that would sound like. But yeah, acoustic version, music videos, take a break, touring. There's a lot going on. This band is 20 years in, and I don't think they're going anywhere. The revolving cast of the lineup is changing an awful lot. It's going to take a little bit of time to get used to not seeing the familiar faces, but they'll be back. They'll be back in some way.
Yeah.
They'll be back occasionally, but like, get used to the new lot. You know, like there's some good musicians there. They're good people, and
Yeah.
I look forward to the European tour. Obviously, the South American tour is awesome to see. There's so many South American fans that will want to see them. I think they'll bring it and they'll love it.
Yeah.
And then speculate on like a couple of stops around Asia somewhere. I don't know, but yeah, I think there's a lot to look forward to, Dylan. I think there's a lot to look forward to, and this is a good, as you said, a good point in the road for them to march towards and keep going for the foreseeable future. But that was it. That was Shish. That was our deep dive analysis. I think we did a good job, Dylan. I think we did a good job. I think we covered quite a lot. I think we talked about the timeline. We went through band members. We went through every track with a bit of detail and ranked them, and then looking ahead and everything else in between, little caveats.
Yeah.
Learning where where Kokhanockers is, and where
We
Knik
got
is,
some
and
geography thrown in.
we've got a little bit of geography. We've got a little bit of gaming with Katamari Damacy and Katamari Damacy. Damacy. Anyway, and Hideo was obviously mentioned.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you've do you have any? Firstly, thank you for coming on and recording with this. We're up to 3 hours now and plus, and so yeah, massively appreciate it. It's been very, very good. It's a lot of fun to do this. I massively appreciate it. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah. I'm always happy to be on. It's always a lot of fun.
Oh, that's very kind for you to say. It's I'm trying to make this a good show, but it's going well. I don't know. I'm enjoying it. Having John on definitely reinvigorated me to keep going and to keep doing. It would have been a good place to stop, or we keep going. But I think it's a good place to keep going. And I've got some plans as well. I've got some people in mind to have on. It's no secret that I'd love to have band members on again. I loved having John on.
Yeah.
I'd love to learn more about Kane or Danny, for example, or even Zoe if she's willing to come on.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time zone and getting them to respectfully ask for their time. But yeah, more to come. And again, thank you for listening to the Shish Deep Dive. And we'll keep on pumping them out. I've got some more guests coming on soon as well. Some new ones, some people who haven't spoken, some big long-term fans as well I want to get on, so should be good. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good day. Thank you for listening. Take care and bye.